Today's episode is sponsored by our friend and yours, Bubbles and Books, the monthly subscription box where all of your relaxation and self-care needs are exceeded. Each month you get a curated box with a romance novel and high-quality bath supplies and accessories. When you sign up, choose between historical, contemporary, or paranormal, because they've got all the Werves, England Times, and bad boys you could want. Plus, they now have standard or premium boxes. Use the code HEAVINGBOSOMS10 for 10% off your first month or one-time purchase. It's so much easier to carve out some dedicated you time when the supplies come straight to your door. Hooray! Hey listener, welcome back to Heaving Bosoms, the podcast where two best friends fangirl over romance novels, each other, and you. You're honestly wonderful. One wonderful person in particular is also a patron. Blair B, you are a basilisk. You're a great serpent queen with a deadly glare, turning lesser beings to stone with just one glance. Leaving deadly venom in your wake for all those deserving of your ire, you are one badass lady. According to our online research, you only have two weaknesses. The odor of weasels, weird, right? And preteen Gryffindors, so watch out for that. Otherwise, you're pretty much the queen of everything. And now, it's time. We finally get to publicly drool over the Night King, High Lord of the Night Court and our loins, Rhysand, in A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas. Guys, it's on TM.
Sorry, I burped. Oh god, you can see it. I can see the squiggles of it. Do you want to do one more number?
No, I do not.
All right. Wait, you're going to put it on the podcast, aren't you?
I'm going to put it on the podcast.
I hate that you're the editor.
Don't you, though?
Okay, let's make a clean start.
Oh, yeah,
Hello, Melanie.
Oh, hi, Erin.
You're not going to use it.
No, I am not.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm all right. How are you?
You look great. You look like you got 50% more blood in you, even though I know that's not true, because you birthed that baby.
Well, I am no longer blood sharing. So
yeah, blood sharing.
That might be.
I want to use that as a new name for pregnancy. Oh, she's blood sharing right
she's
now.
Blood sharing. So,
and I think that's also my new compliment. Like, I know you're not blood sharing, but you do look like you are. Beautiful skin.
You've got that blood sharing glow.
Yeah, like you just returned from the fairy realm. In fact, I think it was our Akko Shma. The other one, the first one in this book, the dumb Tamlin one.
A court of stupid and he doesn't love you.
Shma shma.
A court of he gonna lock you up.
A court of run up with that Night King, girl. Like,
that's right.
The problem? What is the problem?
A court of, but what about the Night King?
A court of the first half of the book, I was like, yeah, okay. And then the second half, I was like, huh?
A court of, it all starts at the calamari party.
Anyway, I think it was at whatever that episode was that we first talked about your 50% more blood, because I said that you look like you just returned from the fairy realm, remember?
Yes, I do remember.
So you guys, this is a slick professional callback.
It really is. And it was also completely accidental. I love it.
Hashtag professional in 2019. Look at us.
That's right. Also, to be a real professional, we are going to be covering A Court of Mist and Ruin, the second book in the series. And if you want...
that's not the name of the book, Melanie.
A Court of Mist and Fury. Fury. She's
Fury,
so mad.
My friend.
Fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's A Court of Wings and Ruin. I've read all three. So, and frankly, Sarah J. Maas, I need to know when there are going to be more. I don't even mind if it's a Cassie and Nesta spinoff. Okay. All right. Back to the podcast. If you want to listen to the first one and you haven't, that is episode 60, A Court of Uh-oh. Thorns and roses, everybody.
Yeah.
A court of get out of the spring court.
A court of this is not the man for you, girl.
That's right.
Get out.
That's right.
Okay. Do you want to talk about my pilgrimage?
I do want to talk about your pilgrimage because I have not made it yet, and I feel like you have so much more Romancelandia cred than I do right now, and I just want to leach it off of you.
I was like,
blood share with me. I've changed it now. I changed it.
Okay, so picture this.
Yeah.
There I was. Okay, so I had a trial that I had to do at Fort Irwin, California. Fort Irwin, California is roughly equidistant between Los Angeles and Las Vegas, the two biggest losses there are in the Southwest United States.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So if you map from Fort Irwin to the Ripped Bodice, it is approximately like a 2 hour, 45 minute to 3 hour situation.
Right.
So originally I was flying into Ontario, California and out through Ontario, California, which is a little bit closer to Fort Irwin. Long story short, Snowmageddon, I got rerouted to LAX at the last minute. So I'm like, okay, well, I've got to fly into LAX and back through LAX. So feasibly, I could maybe go to the Ripped Bodice. I blew it on the way in because I decided to have lunch with Cole, and then I probably could have gone to the Ripped Bodice, but I really wanted to get out to my workplace because I was already a day late. So, didn't do it on the way in.
Also, I'm so glad you saw Cole.
Yeah,
face
we
to
had
face.
lunch. We had lunch and saw each other for the first time in like 10 years or something like that.
Shit stick.
It's been a very long time. Actually, when we FaceTimed to record the podcast, that was the first. I mean, we talk maybe once a week or once every couple weeks, couple times a month.
Yeah.
But I had not seen him, like his face, in like 10 years when we FaceTime.
That's crazy.
Because the kids these days, they're always doing the FaceTimes, but I don't like it.
They are, but we're old millennials.
I don't like the angles. They don't have to worry about the angles. We do.
It's true.
We have to worry about the angles and our hands get tired. That's the problem with being older. My hands get
so tired.
So tired. It's like reading, only you've got to like pay attention not only to what you're looking at, it's like the book is looking at you and you're trying to read. It sucks.
It's true. Yeah. And like anytime I try to put it up like on a kitchen surface or something, all you see is chins.
Like, and who cares? Who cares? Like, you're not, I don't get it. I don't get why people even want to see each other on the FaceTime. I don't understand.
Well, now that I have kids, I do, but.
Ugh, don't care. Yeah. Anyways, okay. So the trial wraps up in the morning time, probably around noon on my last day. And I know that my flight doesn't go out until like midnight. So I was like, oh, bitches, I'm going to the Ripped Bodice. Like, this is happening.
That's right.
I also thought maybe I should call Jenny Nord back and see if she wants to hang out.
I know. I really wanted that for you, too.
I know. But here's the thing. Cole had already said earlier in the week, let me know when you're coming back in and we'll see about like maybe doing dinner. I also have a different friend in LA. So I had sent them like beacon text that morning. It's possible because I don't want to cold call Jenny Nord back. She's like a celebrity.
I know. She's so
had sent
cool.
Out, like pulse beacons. It's a Firefly reference. That doesn't mean anything. So sent out beacons to the other two. Then, I might have time for dinner tonight because I was thinking I'll have time for dinner and TRB. Why not?
Hell yeah.
And they were both like, bitch, it's Valentine's Day. Of which I was like, oh, right. It's Valentine's Day. Like, people are doing things with their, like, I'm like, hey, you want to have dinner with me on Valentine's Day, Cole? And he's like, no, I think I'll have dinner with my wife on Valentine's Day.
Sure, Cole. Same.
Same with my other friend.
Sorry, you got so many wives out there. You got to have dinner with them.
Right. So now I'm cognizant of the Valentine's Day-ness of the whole situation. So I didn't want to be like, hey, Jenny Normack, one-time situation, have dinner with me. And then she's like, oh, I got this husband, and I got to make a call. I didn't want to put her in that position.
8-foot-tall husband.
Right. And also, I don't have a good time of when I'm, like, landing. Because when the trial wraps up, you have to kind of, like, hang out with your guy until he goes, where he's going to go. And you got to, like, make sure all your witnesses are okay and stuff. Not that I don't like doing that, but it doesn't end when it ends. You kind of got to wrap things up afterwards. And so this, for unforeseen circumstances, does not wrap up until, like, 4 p.m. So I was like, ooh. And we kind of like, me and my co-counsel kind of hang out until like 5. Like, I wasn't trying to get out of there really fast, but like, I was kind of cognizant of the Ripped Bodice situation. I was like, oh, I might not make it. So I don't step off Fort Irwin until like 5 p.m. And my GPS says 2.5 hours.
Easily. Yeah.
So I rocketed down that Fort Irwin road, which if anyone's familiar with the road from Fort Irwin to Barstow, it's like one of the deadliest roads in America.
Oh, no.
So I'm like rocketing down that road, and then I'm like rocketing from Barstow out to LA.
No.
So I'm making great time. I think I'm doing great. I have to pee, but it's no worries. It's no problem. And then I hit the LA traffic. And then I realize it's like 7:15, and my thing says now I'm not going to get there until like 7:47 or something like that. And traffic is like crawling at like 30 miles an hour. And I was like, oh, it's not going to happen because your GPS wants you to know the speed limit, and the speed limit's like 65, right?
Right.
And so I'm like, okay, well, it's not going to happen. My pee is up to my eyeballs right now. Like, I literally considered peeing in like some kind of jug or something. The problem was I didn't have a jug or something. If I had a jug or something, I would have peed in it. That was the situation for me in that moment. Because I was like, if I pull over and pee, and that's the reason I missed the Ripped Bodice.
Oh, never forgive yourself.
Forgive myself.
No.
So I made a little video that I tweeted out later that night.
It was the cutest thing in the world.
Like, here's the situation. Because I at least wanted to put something out to everybody of like, I tried, you know?
Yeah.
And I sent it to our group chat that we have with the Wicked Wallflowers and the Fated Mates.
Romance. Yeah.
Well, Fated Mates.
Right.
Minus Sarah McLean. She's a celebrity, you guys. She can't be on a group chat with us. But Jenry's Romance, who, if you don't follow on Twitter, you're not doing romance correctly.
Yeah, get at Jen Reed's Romance. You gotta follow her. She's hilarious. Her takes are amazing. She's a great voice for marginalized groups and just good romance in general. And if you're not listening to Fated Mates, do that.
Yeah,
too.
You're not doing it. And Wicked Wallflowers. All of those. All our podcast friends. Show them love.
That's right.
So anyway, so I sent that out, and then Jenny's like, well, you want me to just call them? Like, I live real close, and I know all of them personally, so I'll just call them and tell them to stay late. I'm like, don't call them and tell them to stay late on Valentine's Day so that I can go to a bookstore. Because I'm already figuring out this is going to be awkward once I get there. I'm alone. Like, I don't have a friend with me to squee with, so I'm just going to be like, oh my God! Alone.
You can squeeze with the person behind the counter.
No,
they work at the Ripped Bodice. It's like Disneyland for romance. I don't know.
We'll get there.
Okay.
So then Jenny calls and she's like, I don't know the girl that's working, but I did tell her about you. And I'm like, okay.
And she's like, P.S. She told me she has no Valentine's plans. Jenny is so awesome.
Yes. Yeah, because I didn't want to keep somebody late on their Valentine's Day, especially it's like 8 p.m.
Sure.
I get there, you guys. It is so, like, that store is not in, like, suburbia Los Angeles. It is in, like, actual Los Angeles. Like, scary Los Angeles.
You know, I'm going to have to look up the address because you have lived in the boondocks for too long. The
street it's on is Venice, and that's one I've heard of, so shut your trap. So I had a full-on where do I park panic attack once I got there because it was not a Midwestern situation, you guys. It was a Los Angeles situation. I was like, so I parked, and it didn't seem like the best neighborhood, but I'm also very bad at gauging neighborhoods and cities. I have no barometer for what is good or what is bad in a city.
Me neither.
Everything seems bad in a city. If there's a lot of lights, I'm like high alert. Like, you know, if there's many cars, I'm like, ooh, bad neighborhood. I have no idea. Could be a great neighborhood.
See, it's really funny because I am a true crime nut, but I'm just
a crime person. Like, everything about me is crime. And I
seen
still
the real
can't
things.
Be like, is this crime? I have no
Well, no, but
sense.
I am the opposite. I don't automatically think every neighborhood is bad. I automatically think every neighborhood is great. I'm just like, here I go, living my life, jazz hands. Like,
I'm neutral because I just vacillate because I'll be like, oh, it's a grocery store. That's an indicator of a great neighborhood. And then I'll see like two guys breaking into a car and I'll be like, that's an indicator of a bad neighborhood. You know, it's like, I'll see like a snazzy shop and I'll be like, that's a great neighborhood. It's just, and then you get the siren or something. Anyway, I did see two guys breaking into a car, by the way, but I was on a mission.
That's right.
So I go park at like a Trader Joe's that's like 16 miles away, roughly. And so I'm walking.
You're living your life, jazz hands.
I'm trying to get there. I park. I go into the place. I got 10 minutes left. And there's nary a soul in there.
Uh-huh.
It's just Amy working the desk.
Amy.
And it's just her life. This is just her. This is her every day. She's
every
not
day.
excited to be at the Ripped Bodice.
I know.
She works there every day. So I go in and I'm like, hi. And she's like, hi, welcome to the Bodice. Like, I'm not trying to, I don't want to portray Amy as
she
like.
gave you great customer service.
She was incredible. Great customer service. But I just want to be clear that she's not at my level. So I have to come down to her level. I'm like, okay, cool. Yeah. Here I am.
We're totally
here
good.
I am at the Ripped Bodice. It's totally normal. Cool. Do you have a bathroom? And she's like, yeah, it's back there. I'm like, cool. I'm going to buy stuff. I'm not like a vagrant. I just really have to pee. And she's like, are you the one that somebody called about? And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, okay. So then I'm just kind of like roaming the store excitedly, but I'm trying to like be cool because again, I'm alone and it's weird.
Man, I would have no chill.
All right, let me describe to you the Ripped Bodice.
Wait, can I tell you because it really is the Disneyland of romance, right? The decor in there,
right?
The staging is insane.
Right.
Those women
right.
are artists. Do they have the designer on payroll? I think it's just them, and I think they're amazing.
They've got to have, if they don't have a designer, they're incredible. So the first thing I saw was the bathroom.
Right.
Let me tell you, the entire walls of the bathroom are Post-its of people who have been there and have left little messages. Adorable. But let me tell you, it is hard to find the light switch. I was already cognizant
of the time
because I didn't want to be in there too long because I didn't want her to think I was a drugs, you know?
What?
And so like I just eventually just turned on my phone light. So I'm like peeing with just the phone light like a serial killer. And so
are serial killers notorious for peeing with the phone flashlights on?
The lighting in there was very like we're going like very like Silence of the Lambs flashlight, like flashlighting around the room.
Seems like more Watergate to me, but we're good.
Right.
We're good.
Okay, the paranormal section in the Ripped Bodice.
There were like branches.
Gorgeous. They have the branches and like twinkle lights. I hadn't seen these pictures that apparently you have seen.
No, it was just your selfie that you sent to our group chat.
Oh, good. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna post all the pictures. I was taking selfies so secretly because I didn't want Amy to think I was a loser. This whole experience was like just Amy boredly clicking around on her computer at the front and me trying to hide in various places in the Ripped Bodice and be like, ah! Like take little selfies and stuff. It was one of the more losery experiences I think I've ever had.
I wish that I was awake so that we could have FaceTimed.
But it just felt so magical. And I went upstairs and they have a whole used book room upstairs. And I was like kind of walking around and I saw in there not the first romance novel I ever read, but the second romance novel I ever read.
Whoa.
The one that I passed around to all my friends. And I was like, has you heard of sex books? They put sex into books. And they're all by this
sweet
one
summer child.
And again, I thought it was just this one author. And so I was just like, have you heard of these books by this lady? Because they are sex books. And I kind of teared up. And I was like, this is the first romance novel I ever loved. Right here in the used book room. Oh, God, they've got cardboard cutouts in there of Meghan Markle and Prince Harry and Edward Cullen. And I mean, it's just a magical, beautiful, positive place. They got postcards. They got candles and shit in there too. I bought like 8 books.
Yeah.
And I bought a surprise book for myself, Valentine's. Did you see it?
I did.
The sticker on it says, it's like the X-Files, but Mulder and Scully bone in season 1. And
Boom!
I was like,
that is Erin catnip on every level.
That was written and placed on the shelf for me.
It was.
I bought signed books from all of our girls. Tessa Dare, Tiffany Rice, Rebecca Weatherspoon. Weatherspoon. Yeah. I just like saying her name multiple times because it's correct. I'm sure of it. Gosh, who else? I don't know. A bunch. I bought a bunch of signed books. It was a great experience.
Wow. I'm so glad you made it.
I went to LAX and saw all the worst people in the world are at LAX. All of them. We'll talk about that on the Patreon, maybe.
Yeah, that'll be
because we're 20 minutes in. I'm sorry. But anyway, that's my trip. That's my trip to the Ripped Bodice. That's it.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you got to do that. I cannot wait to do that. I have family in LA. I need to finally go. God damn it.
I'd like to go there with a friend so that I can have an equal level of excitement and not embarrass myself in front of Amy.
Well, my sister lives in LA, and she's a big book reader, and she loves bookstores, but I have not converted her to sex books yet. I don't understand. She is, 18. She's in the prime age to get started on the sex books.
For sex books.
Yeah, I mean, 12 is the right age for sex books, but like 18
all ages are the age of sex books.
Yeah, that's right. Learn some shit, everybody.
I mean, all ages are the age for fade to black books, I say.
No age for fade to black books. No.
I don't know.
All right. So, today, guess what we get to do, Erin?
I don't know. What is it?
We already previewed it. We get to talk about finally. A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas.
Top five Maas. All time.
Yeah,
Top
all
five,
time.
All time. Love it.
All time.
I have a few disclaimers.
Ooh. Yeah. Tell me. Here are the disclaimers.
I've got them on notes.
Ooh.
Hashtag professional in 2019.
Jeez.
All right. Listen. Note number 1. Disclaimer number 1. I preferred Rhys and the Night King when he was actually a bad guy.
Okay. Yes.
Okay. I want to say to the listener, one listener out there.
Hello, listener.
I recognize that Sarah J. Maas making bad boy Rhys into good boy Rhys, who acts like bad boy Rhys and is actually an infallible character who can do no wrong and is actually the best man in the history of time.
Just the sexiest feminist.
Right. And he doesn't want to kill Tamlin. He doesn't want to kill everybody. He doesn't chop off heads and throw them around for funsies. I mean, he doesn't actually do any bad stuff and he's not a bad boy. I realize that is a cop-out. I get it. I understand the device.
Me too, but hashtag feminist Faye is bae.
Yeah, that worked so fully on me. But I just want everyone to know that I'm self-aware that this was a cop-out.
It was.
I get what Sarah J. Maas did here, but it worked on me and I ate it up like all the candy.
So well. I mean, and that's the thing, because I'm the same way. I would prefer bad guys to stay bad, and I still think that people can love them, right? And whatever. Like, I need to get more into Cressley Cole, but I think she does that a lot. Like, her bad guys are just bad, and people loves them. But Jesus, Rhysand is so sexy in his good form as well.
Okay, my third disclaimer is this.
Yeah.
And I am sure that I will talk about it. Bing, boom, bong. Logistics with Erin.
Yeah.
This story makes no fucking sense. Nothing about the Night Court makes any fucking sense. It is one of the more ridiculous and non-logistically sound things I've ever read in my life. And I just want to say that I'm self-aware. And again, I ate it up like so much candy and I did not give any shits about it. But I just want everybody to know that I knew when I was I was like, Sarah, this is not logistically sound. But I was just like, nom, it's so good.
Here's the thing, though. No, I'm sure you're gonna talk about it, and I'm sure we'll get into it more. But he is the most powerful High Lord that has ever been in Everdom. So I really think that's sort of a because witches situation. Like,
oh, you just wait. My girl.
Okay, all right. Is that your last disclaimer?
You know what? I have two more, but I think I have to wait because they're spoilery.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right. My one disclaimer is, I don't think this is a disclaimer. This is just an opinion.
Yeah, your disclaimer is you're horny for the Night King.
Nope. Well,
and you want him in your night bed.
Yep. I wanna run my fingers down the panes of his wings and see him shudder. No, but
that's another thing. If wings are so sensitive that wings are like balls, basically, like, dude, you're flying with them wings. They're like in the wind.
Yeah, what happens when a bug hits them? You know, like bug to the scrot.
When the wind hits them, you stuck your hand out the window of a car. Whew.
Huh.
That's a lot of.
You know what? They're different sensations. Okay. You can become desensitized to some.
Sure.
And other ones just electrify you. Okay, wait.
All right. What's your disclaimer?
Here's my situation. I think, because remember how we were like, Tamlin's a big dumb dummy.
Yeah.
In our coverage of A Court of Thorns and Roses, which I still stand by. He is dumb enough.
Big dumb, dummy, dumb.
But here's the thing. I actually think that Feyre's vagina makes whoever is with her super dumb. Because Rhysand... I think it's Feyre's vagina. I think she's so distracting and so all-encompassing that they just lose all their brain cells for any logistical situations. Because Tamlin gets smarter throughout the series. He's just as insufferable, if not more. But he gets smarter.
That's my disclaimer 3. I have written on the thing, Tamlin, not that bad. Hot take, you guys. Hashtag hot take.
No, Tamlin's still
Remember
terrible.
we were texting and I said, I have some controversial opinions about this book and hot takes. And then I said, I love a villain. If somebody switches to be the villain, watch out, my friend.
All of a sudden,
you get a little bit hotter.
Well, okay. So anyway, let's get into it because I really want to hear how Tamlin is not that bad because,
Hashtag Tamlin not that bad in the second book.
We're really on fire with these hashtags today.
It's just, I noticed that we haven't been being boom bonging lately, so I wanted to really load it up. All right.
We open up. Feyre is in absolutely terrible shape. She's got PTSD out the wazoo.
It's not doing great.
Everybody at the Spring Court is completely ignoring it. They're just acting like if they don't talk about it, that it'll go away, which is not how that works at all.
Yeah, she's back in the Spring Court. She's engaged to Tamlin. Big mistake, Feyre. Tamlin sucks.
Yeah.
Don't get engaged to him.
Just roll bad.
Roll bad, Feyre.
So she's having crazy nightmares and having crazy nightmares and she's in the same bed as Tamlin. I am a heavy sleeper, right?
Yeah.
And so sometimes when Michael gets up, I don't hear him. However, I have never, when he is physically ill, pretended to be asleep so I didn't have to deal with it. And that seems to be what Tamlin is doing and what she ends up doing because that's what he prefers when he has his own PTSD nightmares.
Right. And that is fucked up times a million.
Oh,
Let me say, okay, the stuff Tamlin does while she's still at the Spring Court, not okay. None of it okay. None of it.
Cool.
None of it.
All right, so you're saying...
I'm not a Tamlin apologist for that time. I will let you guys know, but none of this is okay. He doesn't even care. She's waking up. She's throwing up. She's
completely
100% not okay. And he just wants to pretend everything's fine with him and with her, which is not an appropriate reaction.
And she doesn't want to paint anymore, which was one of her core characteristics in book 1 and has been her whole life. And his reaction to this is just buy her more paints and be like, hey, so why don't you do that again?
Is it that you don't have enough colors?
Can I get you a cobalt blue? Would that help? What if I got you a traveling paint case? Is it easier to carry?
That was the dumbest shit. You guys, he's one of the problems with the first part of this book is he's not allowing her to travel outside the castle because one of his reactions to his PTSD is he needs to keep her safe. And he's so afraid of losing her. Yeah. And so he's not allowing her to leave the castle. She's not painting. She's walking around like a ghost, starving herself, throwing up every night.
Right.
And then he gets her a traveling paint case. And he's like, here you go. She's not traveling, Tamlin.
She can't go anywhere.
Allow her to travel.
Yeah. You won't let her, get on a horse. What's happening?
The meanest gift I've ever seen. It's so mean.
Yeah,
I've noticed that you're not traveling and not painting. Would you like this traveling paint kit? Ridiculous, Tamlin.
You seem so wayfish that just a trip to the garden requires a traveling paint case.
Bro, sometimes he won't even let her go to the garden. She has to beg him to go to the garden.
It's bullshit. Okay.
Bullshit.
Oh, yeah. All he wants her to do is plan weddings and event plan. And I love that she has absolutely no idea or interest in this because that would so be me. I would be like, I don't know anything about silverware, nor do I know anything about your entire culture. Because I was just born.
But the other thing is, he doesn't even need he doesn't want Feyre to actually event plan this wedding because he has Ianthe, which is what I'm calling her. I don't care. God damn it. I knew it. I knew as soon as I said it that there was going to be a better pronunciation over in New Jersey. What is it?
Ianthe.
Ianthe.
Uh-huh.
What did you do? Read the pronunciation guide in the back of the book? Fuck off.
Is there one of those? No, I bought the audiobook.
There wasn't the first one. Okay. Ianthe.
Ianthe. That's
okay, so she's the high priestess of the Schmerger.
Oh, and she's like brand new. She's like, hey, y'all, heard that you guys were in prison for 50 years. I've been partying across the ocean, but I'm back.
I heard there was a vacuum of power in the Supreme Court. So
here I come. Here are my boobs.
Like every time. Here are my boobs.
I got tattoos on my forehead. I'm so cool.
Every time. I wish everybody could see Melody's dance. But every time Feyre's like, I like this food or this dress or this schma.
Ianthe is like, there's a better thing for you.
We're going to call her Schmerger from now on. Schmerger is like, no, that's not a cute dress. You need to be wearing a ball gown full of sparkles, or that's not a great centerpiece. You need to be blah, 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 blah. So it doesn't even matter. If Feyre did plan this fairy wedding, it wouldn't even matter because Schmerger is going to go in and do her own thing.
Well, and can I just say, sort of a spoiler, you guys. I clocked it from the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, oh, she's not your friend. That's not your friend.
She's an evil witch.
You
100%.
Yeah, like, Feyre is very sort of relieved by her presence at the beginning because it means that she can just drift off into her own haze of desperate misery and, like, not notice. But the whole time, Ianthe is just sort of pulling information from her and casually negging her and controlling all of her decisions and movements.
She's the worst mean girl. Yeah.
It's real bad. Feyre's constantly wearing brightly colored dresses, which just like, is not Feyre.
Oh, it's Feyre? It's Feyre.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah. You're right.
Yeah, so
Man,
that's
Alaska
the pronunciation
coming
of that
in with
name.
the pronunciation.
Yeah, that's the pronunciation of it. So that's how you say it.
Okay. And they won't let her train to defend herself at all, even though she just saved the whole land.
Right. And now she's even more powerful because she's got all the fairy power now.
Yeah, so she doesn't know that, but they suspect it, the dicks.
Yeah, spoiler time. Yeah. Tamlin probably fucking knows that she has all this even extra power because she's got all the spit seeds from the High Lords.
That's the
Remember
one.
how they all spit on her? Yeah. And now she's good? She's got all that now. And Tamlin probably knows that she's got extra super special powers, and he's trying to stamp that down.
Yeah, he totally does. There. Keep it down. Stay in the house. He's super controlling. And, and Lucian I could punch right in the nuts because he's a total Tamlin apologist. He's like, be patient, Feyre. Don't rock the boat, Feyre. He'll get better, Feyre. He's not going to fucking get better, Lucian.
He's not going to get better, Lucian. Just because he gave you a place to stay and he's your bro doesn't mean he's a good dude,
Absolutely.
Lucian.
Just because you have a magical eye doesn't mean you can see into people's souls, Lucian, you dummy.
I think he can, can't he?
No, he can't see into people's souls.
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay.
He can just see through walls and shit. It's like a Mad Eye Moody situation.
You know what? Lucian deserves what he gets, and it's one of those shitty sisters. So, you know what? Let them just live forever together.
Yeah, fair enough. So, it's really sad, and I think that a lot of people can relate to it. Like, the only thing they have in common is sex and physicality.
Right.
They're like, the only language we can speak in well is physical. So let's just bone a lot and it'll be fine.
Right.
Ugh. Oh, and the first, I don't know, I guess 15% of the book, I think is such a perfect illustration of the slow descent into an unhealthy, sort of abusive situation that you make through compromise.
100%. Oof. And it's just like, I'll move a little bit to the left, I'll move a little bit to the left, and then all of a sudden you're like on the edge and you can't do anything about it and it's suffocating.
Yeah. It starts with compromise and then it ends with being completely steamrolled by the relationship. Like, it's just crazy. So
until.
Oh, man.
Because, do you guys remember? Because Feyre made a sexy bargain with the sexy Night King.
Did she ever?
That she would come be his roommate for a little bit every month. Are we too where the Night King shows up, please?
Oh, we totally can be. Yeah. My next note is, the wedding arrives.
Yes. Is the wedding the first time she goes down there, though?
Yeah. So here's the thing. Okay. So here's what happens. It's been 3 months since Amarantha's horrifyingness.
Not a fucking peep from the Night King, which is crazy town. because Tamlin and Lucian were basically like, okay, put up the fortress.
Yeah.
Make the army and protect from the Night King who's going to come take Feyre. And he never comes for like 3 months. And he's supposed to come every month.
And can I just point out one of my favorite images that I didn't actually glom onto until the second read through of this book?
Mm-hmm.
Every time she's done puking her guts out, she goes and sits by the window because the night sky is the only thing she can find comfort in.
Oh my God, I can't.
Oh, Sarah J. Maas. Your
can't
subtle
with their
romance.
Love. I know.
Oh, it's so beautiful. So the wedding arrives. She's in this froofy tutu.
She's in a cupcake dress.
Oh boy.
It's horrible.
She wants to puke her guts out even then.
Uh-huh.
And oh man, she remembers that not only does she hate the dress, but she went into Tamlin's room. Also, they have separate rooms because he's one of those like weird traditionalist kings. I hate it. And she walked in and he just starts bursting out laughing because of the dress. He hates it too. And yet he sides with Ianthe over Feyre.
Yeah.
And it's like,
it's a very spring court dress.
Yeah, you should wear this horrendous dress that we both hate to the wedding because that bitch who's power grabbing said you should. Like, ugh.
Yeah.
Schmerger.
He's very deferential to Schmerger,
That's the
which
one.
is what we're calling her.
So...
It's not the only name I'm going to have to change for this one.
Yeah. Okay, so then Alice, one of my favorite like servants from book 1, comments that she sounds like she's attending her funeral as she helps her get ready and walk down the aisle. Okay, so she told them that she couldn't handle no red roses. She said no red roses because let's recall.
Right, because it reminds her of Arabertha's hair.
Arabertha's hair and the fact that she myrtleated those 2 Fae youngins.
The blood of those fairies she murdered.
Oh man, it's all over her hands and she's got terrible so she's like, no red roses.
Guilt.
And then that's the one. So then as she's going down the aisle, it's covered in red rose petals. The dicks, because nobody listens to Feyre, even when she talks.
No one cares about Feyre.
The tiniest bit that she talks. Nobody listens.
No.
So she stops.
She's thinking, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this.
And it's not even because she thinks that Tamlin's bad for her. She thinks that her soul is too black after doing these horrible things, and she's no longer worthy of Tamlin, the controlling dum-dum.
Right.
Like, lady, therapy.
But it's also just like she's hurtling toward a thing that she's not ready for.
Absolutely.
Oof.
Yeah, she's on a trajectory she has no control over. Can't.
Been there.
Uh-huh.
Have you ever had that wedding?
Oh, boy.
I have.
Yes, you have.
No one apparated into mine.
Well,
but that's okay.
You also didn't invite anyone, if that's
sure. For this reason.
Nobody had the opportunity to stop you, Erin.
No one can be there to talk me out of this. It's okay.
I remember that phone call.
It's fine.
When you were like, hey, I'm married now. And I was like, oh?
And then that call a week later where I was like, I don't think I want to be married.
I don't think I can be married anymore. I don't think I can do it. Okay. So, all of a sudden, she starts thinking to herself, help me, save me, help me end this. Like, how do I do this? I have to get out of this. And Tamlin reaches for her with his taloned hands. He doesn't have talons right now.
He doesn't have his talons
sometimes
out.
He does. It's not right now.
God, Melody. It's not now.
He mentally has some talons out. And then...
Yeah, we gotta be responsible and professional in telling this story.
It's true. And then Ianthe, Schmerger, she calls out to her.
It's a better name all around. Yeah, she calls out to her.
Doesn't use her name. She says, come, bride, because that's all she's good for in this court is just the status symbol, the goddamn consolation prize, as Reese says later. He says that she's his trophy for a man who didn't even fight for her. So, and then all of a sudden, in a puff of blackness that you can't see through, in a...
I don't know how to make it sound sexier.
I know, right? It's so sexy.
Yeah.
Rhysand
comes in.
And he's got that smirk on his face and one eyebrow is probably lifted. And he's like, oh, Feyre, darling. Because he calls her
Feyre, darling.
And
come with me. I'm the Night King.
Oh, I'm sorry. My
and
note
Tamlin's
is...
very like...
Oh, wait. Can I? Hold on. R
Yeah.
appears in a crack of thunder with his violet eyes and his perfectly tailored black coat and the night leaking out of his very aura. That's my...
Can I say that in the last book, before I even knew that he was wearing tailored clothes, I was pretty sure that they were tailored within an inch of their life. And now it's always described as tailored in this book.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Oof.
So he says that he's calling in his bargain right now. She's got to go right now.
Uh-huh.
And Tamlin's like, WTF, dude, we're getting married right now.
Yeah, this is my wedding.
And
we're busy.
Rhysand says, oh, I'm so sorry. I thought it was over. Or at least Feyre did.
Oh, yikes.
And then he apparates her. Nope, I'm sorry. That's a different mythology.
I've said apparate like 3 times already. He winnows
her to the night court. And she's terrified because she thinks that the night court is going to look exactly like Amarantha's lair. Because let's recall,
because it's supposed to.
That's right. She modeled her court after the night court, but she got the wrong one.
Yeah.
Because he winnows her into this beautiful house that's brightly lit, and it's on the top of this mountain, and she's looking out onto these snow-capped mountain ranges and watching the gust of winds and the pine trees probably, and yet
gorgeous.
It's just like, it's so warm and bright, and she's like, what the fuck are you doing?
Uh-huh.
I'm not supposed to be here.
Yeah, she's mad.
Yeah, she's
you ruined
mad.
my wedding.
Yeah, you ruined my wedding. I was supposed to get married today. And he's like, really? Because you didn't think any of those things. You definitely said,
I'm a mind reader.
Help me.
If you forgot.
Save me. I need to end this. Yeah.
Come get me, Rhysand. I'm a Persephone.
That's
you
right.
You are a Hades.
Oh.
Drag me down to the underworld.
Take me.
Do underworld things to me.
Do underworld things to me is right.
Do things to my underworld.
Also that.
All right. So they're in this great, beautiful house.
Yeah, she's like, where's the nightmare place that I have heard about? And he's like, that's my occupation. This is my home. They are two different things. I am not going to take you to the place where my work job is.
Right. Or that would traumatize you to death. Don't do that.
Yeah, please don't. So she thinks that he's still gorgeous, but he doesn't have the same appearance of night leaking off him. He almost looks normal.
Yeah.
With his deep violet eyes. And so he's like, go to your room. Like, there's a room for you. He doesn't say go to your room. That's not how he ever talks to her. That's a Tamlin-ism. That is not a Rhysand-ism.
Right.
Sorry, everybody. He's like, there's
go
a
check
room
out those
for
rooms
you.
I've got for you.
That's right.
Yeah.
They're palatial. There's a bathtub that anyone would murder for.
Go to your room because of comfort.
That's right.
So she goes...
Well, but first she throws a shoe at him.
Yes.
Yeah,
Does Moore walk in at this point or no?
She just hears her voice off in the distance. So she wings a shoe at him, hits him right in the back of the head, and he's like, shit, bro. Weird. And then she wings another shoe at him. Yeah, and he blocks that one. And then he's like, all right, well, I'll see you for breakfast. Bye.
Bye.
And she hears a lady's voice go, ooh, so that went well. Because Moore is the best.
So she goes up to her room, and her room
I would
is
murder
great.
for that bathtub. Murder for it.
Me too. I would murder for those clothes.
Also that.
Like, all the night clothes are very, like, silky, jasmine.
They're
in
jasmine-y.
the sand glass. What are those called? Hourglass. You know when Jasmine was trapped in that hourglass and Jafar had her?
Yes.
And she's wearing, like, the red, sexy, silky Arabian Nights sort of get up?
Yep.
That's what it is, you guys.
It is.
Everything is red get up Jasmine in the night court.
Yeah.
Anyway, she puts it on and she's like, these is comfy. I really like these clothes.
Yeah, I get to wear pants again, thank Christ.
But she's also like, evil Night Lord. I can't believe I'm wearing his clothes. He's evil.
How dare he
evil, sexy
give me
Night
so
Lord.
many nice things.
Very conflicting for Feyre.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, and then the next morning, Nuala and Caradwyn come up and help her get ready for breakfast, and she's sitting in her bathtub and she feels this like tug on their quote unquote bond because they made this bargain, and so she's tattooed on her left hand. She's got a sexy tattoo.
So they now have this like tether.
Yeah, this connection, this connexion, this mind meld situation that's real delicious. You know what? Somebody commented that I'm
with her.
You think
I'm 100% with her.
You think that that mind reading makes less romance?
Yeah.
I disagree. No.
I think it's less mystery.
I don't give a single shit I mostly want to know how they feel about each other. And that, yep, it works. Yep.
Well, I don't know. I have probably a hot take on this one, but we have to wait until the end of the book from a hot take. So
balls. All right, cool. So she goes down to this thing and she's like, don't summon me. And he's like, well, you're looking real frail. Mm-hmm. So I really want you to put some food into your body. And I has foods right here.
Yeah.
With me.
Good for you.
Yeah.
And you didn't eat shit or fuck yesterday. Right. So now you're going to eat.
That's right. And so...
Well, he doesn't talk to her like this. You guys, it's very gentle. It's very debonair.
It's very suggestive.
And just very like, hey, Feyre, I've noticed you need to have breakfast. Please eat this delicious breakfast.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, sexier words have never been said.
I mean... yeah. Can I please feed you this pastry is maybe the sexiest sentence. So she's like, what the fuck do you want from me? And he goes, well, among other things, I want you to learn to read. Let's start there.
Which is crazy because she thinks she's being dragged down there to be his like night court sex slave.
Yeah.
Which like, please.
Right?
Yes.
Like,
best week ever.
Best week ever.
Feyre is not into that. Fine.
She's not in the right headspace, Erin.
Right.
Okay?
She doesn't want to be a sex slave right now, which is fine.
She's still completely brainwashed to think that Tamlin is the best thing that ever walked the earth and he's so pure-hearted and he's so bleh.
But then Rhys is like, I want you to learn to read. How confusing for Feyre.
I know.
So then she's like, okay, I guess I'll learn to read. So
man.
He makes her write sentences.
Yeah.
Do you have the sentences?
The first
I don't
one
know
is,
that I do.
You look absolutely delicious today, Feyre.
And she has to write it over and over and over. She doesn't have to do anything. She doesn't have to do this. He's just requested that she do this.
Yeah.
And she does want to learn to read.
She does want to. Yeah. Because she almost died.
Nearly killed her.
Right.
Yeah.
In the second trial, she almost died under the mountain because she doesn't know how to fucking read.
Right. Tamlin's not going to teach her to fucking read.
He's not going to teach her anything. Not if it gives her any more access to freedom.
Right.
Or information. The fucktard.
Right.
Okay. He also wants her to learn how to mind shield so that Daemati, like him, the people who can go into your brain parts, can't read all of her thoughts. He's like, you want me to stay out of your head? Fine. Then learn how to mind shield.
Yeah. And basically you just like close your eyes and you imagine some shields and you like shoop over your mind and then you've shielded it.
You make one of those 300 walls.
Yeah. You got to maintain a 360 perimeter
shield
around
wall.
your brain space. And it seems real easy because all you're doing is you're being like shoop. But I guess it's real hard and you got to drag those up every time. And it's like, and it's exhausting.
It is. It's on this pulley system that's so heavy.
It's so heavy.
It is.
Every
and then
time.
You have to like use part of your attention constantly. I would be so bad at this to keep it up.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, exhausting.
Yeah, so she's got to practice that too to keep those demon teas out.
That's right. That's the one.
They're sipping on that demon tea. They know how to get into minds. Sorry.
They're sipping on that demon tea to make you spill the tea.
What did you call it? Demon tea?
Huh?
Demon tea? What was it?
Daemati.
Nah. It's not going to happen ever again.
Okay, so then he takes her up to a tall tower, which is somehow also sexy. And
why are towers so sexy in the night court? Everything he does is so sexy.
It's so sexy. And he's like, listen, war is a-coming. You thought Amethyst Chameleon was bad. That's not the worst of it. She was just...
Look at you! Join me. Join me in not remembering any of the words. Is this the part where he shows her the blank map?
Yeah. It's
this
not
is
blank.
so funny to me. It's pretty blank.
Only his court is blank.
He's like, listen, Feyre, war is coming. The King of Highburn, got that one.
Get it?
Is coming for everybody.
That's right.
He's going to murder everyone. He wants to destroy the wall.
And he wants to get your family. He wants to eat their livers for just a snack.
Yeah, snack on the humans, be the king of all the fairies and stuff. And then he's like, check out this map, Feyre.
Yeah.
This is going to really illuminate this for you. The map is blank. Because I don't want any of my secrets to be revealed to you because you're a spy from the Spring Court.
Yeah.
But check this map, this blank map. This is what's going to convince you that this is happening.
Everything else.
Ridiculous.
Everything
she
else
knows
has
what's
stuff on
everything
it.
else.
No, she kind of doesn't.
Perineum. Nope.
Perennium? No.
That's the new name for it.
She does not live on the Taint of Fairyland. Okay.
She does kind of. That's the spring court.
Yeah, it is the
spring
Taint
court
of
is
Fairyland.
the Taint of Fairyland. Oh man. Okay.
No, only his realm is blank. It is also the largest realm because everything about Rhysand is the largest and grandest. And the most powerfulest.
Well, it better be the largest realm because there's like 15 states and cities and shit in there that you got to keep track of for no kind of reason.
Yeah.
God, the spring court's just the spring court. It's just a field and a castle. The night court's like the court of this and the court of that and the city of this and the Schmerger of that and the mountain where the wing guys live, and it's a whole thing.
No, that, my friend, is an illustration of how little Tamlin will let her in.
Fair.
Because the spring court is huge. It spans the entire wall on the south. But she literally she's only ever been to the castle. Remember how he knocked her out to get from her house up to his house the first time? She's literally never seen any of the spring court. No, he won't take her anywhere.
How you loved that plot point.
Well, yeah, because I didn't have to watch the traveling.
Right.
As a reader, I liked
isn't
it.
It great how he knocks her out? Yeah, you were all about the don't.
As a reader, but not as a Feyre.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
As a reader, I don't want to watch you on a 4-day trek to some fucking castle. Just get to the castle. But as a Feyre, I would be fucking pissed.
I'd watch a 4-day trek with Rhysand.
Oh, boy.
All day, any day.
I would watch a 17-day trek with Rhysand.
All right, so he shows her the map. He shows her the map. It's blank.
Right.
And she's like, what a beautiful blank map.
That's right. Oh, man. It's
incredible.
So gorgeous. But then he's like, King of Highburn is coming. I need your help because I think you have many powers. And I think that you could be a very, very potent weapon against Highburns.
We'd like to train you.
She's like, first of all, I'm not capable of any kind of greatness anymore.
Yeah.
And my soul is black. So that can't be true.
Yeah. My self-esteem is at a 0 because of the abusive relationship I'm in.
Yeah. Tamlin would never let me train.
Yeah.
She literally says that. He says, you're not his subject. Or,
right.
He says, you're no one's subject. And he says, you can be a pawn or a prize for a guy who didn't fight for you. Or you can be a player in this game. Which one do you want to be?
But she's also like, I don't want to fight for this night court because it's evil and everyone says so. All the other High Lords are like, this is the evil one. Don't fall in with them. Yeah. They're going to sweet talk you and then they're super evil. So she's like, I'm not becoming an agent of the night court. Yeah. So buzz off.
Right. So then he goes away for a week and she continues training herself. She doesn't reach out to anybody. She basically just like lives as a ghost in the house training. Yeah, and
do we get any more sentences?
Reading. Oh.
All these sentences he makes her write are like...
It's like, Rhysand is the best lover any female could ask for. Rhysand has the most gorgeous, deep violet eyes. Rhysand is the smartest High Lord to ever walk the earth.
It's a lot of like he's the handsomest High Lord. He's the sexiest High Lord. So he really satisfies women, and she just writes it over and over and over again. She's like, this is kind of funny. I kind of like this. This is cute.
Mm-hmm. And then there's an attack on a temple.
Oh, in the night court?
Yeah. So she walks in on a conversation with Mor and Rhys.
Oh, right.
And unlike Tamlin and Schmerger, they don't stop. I waited until you took a drink to say that, too.
Yeah, you did.
I did. I'm so mean.
See, that was an appropriate spit take, unlike all the spit takes in and playing the role of herself, because those were all... Did you listen to that episode?
Yeah, I did listen. Yeah.
Have you ever done a spit take because someone was sexy?
No.
It's the weirdest thing.
Anyway,
all right, moving on.
I have drooled we're doing this book. Because someone is sexy, particularly Rhysand.
Okay, fair. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, him and Mor are talking about an attack on a temple.
Yeah, and Feyre's like, they're going to stop talking because I'm here. And Rhys is like, keep going, Mor. It's fine. Like, Feyre can whatever. So it's kind of nice.
Because in the spring court, every time anyone's talking business and Feyre walks in, they stop.
Yeah.
Feyre can't know. Her woman ears are too delicate.
Stupid woman ears. Okay, so when he finally comes back on the last day and asks if she'll work with him, She's like, no, you're my enemy because you're Tamlin's enemy and I'm his subject. And this is when he says that she is no one's subject. And the actual line is, you can be a pawn, a prize for a guy who sat on his ass for 50 years and then sat on his ass some more while you were shredded apart, or become someone Preteen will listen to. Become a weapon. So true.
Yeah. But also, we didn't really introduce Moore, who's a super pretty blonde lady who hangs out at the night court with Rhysand. And she's very like, hey, Feyre, you want to be best friends? And Feyre's very like, no.
Right.
So, just so you know, that's what happened there.
Yeah, she's Rhys's cousin.
Yes.
So, she goes back to the spring court. She walks in, sees Tamlin in his study.
Oh.
The study is...
cousin stuff.
Ripped apart. Yeah. This would work for cousin stuff. Yeah, totally.
Right, okay, keep going. Sorry.
The study is completely ripped apart. The whole house is ripped apart. There's a new table because that's Tamlin's reaction to everything, is to destroy property.
Don't date boys that destroy property.
Don't do it.
They're the worst.
So then he like rushes over to her and grabs her and hugs her, but then he holds her at arm's length and is like looking at her all over, like turning her around to inspect her body. And she keeps on saying, I wasn't hurt. Nobody touched me. I'm fine. I'm fine. And he just won't believe her. And he keeps on like looking all over her skin parts. It's real weird.
Okay, here, Bing Boong Bong.
Yes.
Tamlin isn't all that bad.
Oh.
Here's the first one. Here's the thing. Feyre goes to the night court, comes back, and she's like, Tamlin, I'm fine. Everything's fine. And he won't believe her. That's not on Tamlin. That's on Rhysand drinking demon tea and being able to change everybody's brains around.
Sure.
Because if I'm Tamlin and I send my partner down to the night court for a week, and I'm certain from all the evidence that I've gathered in my experience that night court guy is evil, because that's all the portrayals of this guy.
Okay, but Bing Boong Bong. So first of all, that's not true. Tamlin knows a metric fuck ton more about Rhysand than he lets on. And they have a history that is much more complicated than that. But Bing Boong Bong, Tamlin is a big dumb dummy.
But he doesn't know the extent.
I have Bing Boong Bonged, madam.
Okay. Didn't I do it first? And you're wagging your finger at my Bing Boong Bong? Is that what that is?
That's the one. Yep, I cut in. Bing Boong Bong, Tamlin is a big dumb dummy.
And I can't cut in?
Not yet. If he is drinking that demon tea so that he can change everybody's brains around, in what world would he leave marks?
Yeah, that's not like smart. Tamlin's dumb, but I'm just saying that
fucking dummy.
Him not believing her is not like a function of his abusiveness. Him not believing her is like, of course, if he was going to do something to her,
yeah, he would wipe her memory.
And also, like, I don't think from Tamlin's perspective and what he knows of Rhysand, I really feel like Rhysand might like leave a clue on her. Like one teeny tiny scratch
to drive him crazy,
just to fuck with him.
Yeah, sure.
So I think Tamlin's a little bit legit in this moment.
Fair enough.
All right.
But then she's like, the only language we can adequately speak is physical. So I am DTF right now. Let's go upstairs. Yeah. And he's like, actually, we got some questions.
Oh, yeah. We got to do a debriefing.
We have to do a huge debriefing. Meanwhile, he hasn't asked her a single question in fucking 3 months since they've been back. He does not care about her mental state. He does not care about the thoughts that she has or her emotion, like nothing. But he immediately wants to ask her questions now. So they do that.
Yeah, 'cause they're enemies.
Yeah. And then he forbids her from training her powers because she asks about that. She's like, hey, so what if I... And they're like, no.
Rhysand mentioned that maybe I have like some extra special powers. Yeah. He's like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. There's nothing special about you, Feyre, except your vagina. Okay. And then, oh my God. And she says, as she like leaves, she thinks to herself, he's her high lord. I could bow to him on this one thing. I could do it. You're no one's subject. Maybe Rhysand had altered my mind, shields or no. The thought alone was enough for me to begin feeding Tamlin details once more. Okay, so then the spring court tithe happens. This fucking spring court tithe. This bullshit tithe.
I can't pronounce a damn thing right in my life.
Did you say tithy?
It's a... I just thought it was a tiff. I thought it was a tiff.
Just a little tiff.
A little tiff. All right.
Well, I only know that because it's a religious thing. People give tithes to churches.
Yeah, I guess I've just always in my brain thought it was a tiff. I think I've never heard it pronounced out loud. Because I know this is a word in the world, but I've always in my brain part said tiff. So that's where I'm at.
Fair enough. My a good friend of mine thought it was epitome until she was about 15, I think. Then somebody said it out loud and she was like, oh, fuck.
That's great.
Yeah. Okay. So the tithe is everybody in the land has to trek to the castle and give them a bunch of shit, whether or not they have shit to give. So all of a sudden this water wraith comes up and the water wraith is like, the pond is out of fish. I don't have any fish to give you.
This water wraith, by the way, real gross.
Oh,
and
horrifying
super evil.
looking.
Horrifying. Pointy teeth, black mouth.
Scaly.
You know, it looks like
skin.
the kid from not the Ring. What's the other one? The Guilt one. The Guilt. Nope, that's not the name of it.
I don't know. I don't do horror movies.
The little horror kid that opens his mouth and it's all black in there.
No, I don't know. But that sounds bad.
It's not The Guilt. That's
She's got
the dumbest
black,
name for a movie.
like shark eyes, fish eyes. You know, like that. You only see the black part. She's totally naked. She's got really long, stringy hair. You know, it's not a great look, I guess. And everybody's sort of shying away from her.
Right.
So Feyre obviously has no context for water wraiths in general. She's just looking at a being who's saying, what?
It's the Grudge.
Oh, it's called the Grudge. The Guilt. Yeah. Yeah.
Guilt.
That makes sense.
It should be called the Guilt because that's more the plot. Yeah, the Guilt. Doesn't sound scary at all.
So she
she's
doesn't
up
have
there.
any fish to give. And she's saying, please, please, High Lord, I don't have anything. And Tamlin's like, no, you have to give me things. Go get things or I kill you. Because that's the penalty.
I have no gift to give, pa-rum-pa-pum-pum. That's all I could think of. I'm like, girl, play your drum for him.
Yeah, right?
Like, it will be okay.
No, he would not accept her drum.
Well, no, and she doesn't even have a drum, you guys. That's how poor
It's
this
true.
fish lady is.
I mean, like, could she offer a synchronized swim?
She's like doing a tap dance. Doing like a real squishy tap dance. I'd accept that.
I would too.
For my teal.
Man, squishiest tap dance forever.
Slap, slap, slap. Squish, squish, squish.
Okay. So he's like, you need to go get me things or I murder you, because that's how tithes work. And Feyre is
in
like,
the Supreme Court. I don't think it works that way in just like Christianity. All right.
No, right, totally. That's
anymore.
So Feyre looks over at him and she's like, we don't need any fucking fish. We have all the things here. Like, we don't, why do we need this bitch's fish? I don't want her fish.
Yeah. And he's like, it's the principle of the thing.
Yeah, he's like, this is the way this is so gross. He's like, this is the way my father did it. This is the way I'm going to do it. And he looks her right in the womb. And he's like, and this is how my son will do it someday. And she's like,
yeah.
Full body shudder.
Yeah.
So she's like, I need a break from all of this generosity of our peoples. And she goes and finds the water wraith and she's like, here, have my jewelry, pay off whatever you need to pay off, and then use the rest to stock your pond again, because this is some bullshit. And the water wraith is like, what do you want? And Feyre's like, this is not a bargain. This is me.
But it's not like, what do you want? It's like, what do you want? Because she's like a golem.
Fair. So Feyre shirks back a little bit. Yeah. And she's like, I don't want anything. This is
don't touch me.
Yeah, right. I don't need your things. It's okay.
Here's this jewelry. For fuck's sake, don't put it on because you look real creepy. Just take it and go. Can you imagine like a golem with like dangle earrings?
Oh, I love it. I can't wait.
Fabulous.
So then she says, my sisters and I are forever in your debt. Thank you. Goodbye. And Feyre's like, okay, also didn't need a debt, but we're cool. So she goes back to the tithe.
You do. Mark that one.
You best get ready. So then at dinner, Tamlin yells at her about undermining him. And she gets real mad. Uh-huh.
You know what I thought of?
What did you think?
Jake and Vienna. Undermining me.
That's so true. You're so mean.
I'm done. I can't do this anymore.
Yeah, The Bachelor really gave us a gem.
Just Google up Jake and Vienna breakup special. It is one of the best things that's ever been on television.
It's also so sad.
Oh, Jake Pavelka is the most abusive asshole that's ever been on The Bachelor. 100%. And everybody's all like, he's a pilot. He's so sweet. And he's not. It's not Vienna's fault just because she's a slut.
That's the one.
Everyone didn't like Vienna. It's like, she's just like sex. That's all Vienna ever did wrong.
Yeah, and that's not
She's just kind of
thing.
trashy, and she's from Florida, and she likes sex. There's nothing wrong with any of that.
That's right. It is wrong to be an abusive asshole. God damn
it. Yes, it is. Yes,
all
it
right.
is.
Okay, so here's what happens. She finally gets really pissed. And she sees Lucian looking between them because they never have any private dinners. It's always like lavish banquets because, after all, they have all of their subjects' things now after the tithe. And so she accidentally goes into Lucian's mind and sees like what he sees at dinner. And then she pulls herself back out and realizes that she has burned the table with her hands. And then she's like, this is bullshit. Yep. She covers up her hand marks, hoping nobody sees it. And she's like, I'm going to bed. Goodbye. I do not regret giving that water wraith those earrings that I don't like anyway.
Right.
Oh, yeah, because that was Tamlin's thing. He was like, those earrings were a gift from me.
She's like, all this shit is a gift from you. I came here wearing rags.
Right.
So wait, I don't own anything that I own because it's all from you? Oof. Mm-hmm. That's the equivalent of like, I made you and I can take all this away. That was that. Oof.
Yeah.
Oof.
So she goes to his study later because he hasn't gone to bed and he's all apologetic and he has the present we mentioned before. Meanwhile, up until this point, she's been like, can I please go help the people with you? Can I please leave the estate? Can I please visit anywhere else? And he's like, no, you can't go fucking anywhere.
No. And she's like turning to Lucian and Lucian's like, I'm sorry, he's my High Lord and he gave me an order.
Yeah. Ugh. So it's this travel paint set because he wants her to magically turn into her old self again while not helping her at all.
Worst present in the history of time.
So she says, she gets to a place where she's like, I can't live like this.
Right.
And she says he's drowning. And then he's like, I'm so sorry, but it's for your protection. And she goes, then you should marry someone who can deal with this. Mm-hmm. And he literally explodes with rage. Like, he doesn't explode, but he sends this blast of rage power that shreds everything in its wake and would have, I think, misted her. They talk about misting later on where, High Lords...
when you just explode somebody into blood particles.
Yeah. And the only reason she's okay is because she, naturally put up this shield she didn't know she had. It was like a wall of hard air, and she didn't know she could do that. Right. So she saves herself accidentally, and then he does that thing where after an abuser lashes out, he falls at her
I'm so
feet.
Sorry.
He's
I'm so
crying.
Sorry. Please comfort me.
He can't believe he did that to her. He'll be better. I'll be better.
Tamlin.
I'll be better. And she finally hugs him because she still doesn't have any words to speak. She's so shocked and scared. And then he ends up decreasing the guard for a little while, which I guess is nice. And that's and in her abused mindset, she's like, oh yeah,
thank you.
He's trying.
I would love these breadcrumbs.
Right. He's doing the thing that I asked him to, kind of, sort of. And he still won't treat her like an equal or share any information with her for the next 3 weeks. But there's less guards. There's 2 as opposed to 12.
Oh, progress.
Right. Okay. So then our favorite cat comes slinking up the walkway. Oh, yeah. He comes to get her, and he's outside. He makes it into their house, outside her bedroom door. She's naked, and Tamlin's in there. And so when she finally comes out, because she hears them arguing in the hallway, she's got a sheet on her, and he goes, "Are you short of food here, Tamlin?" Because she just looks awful again. She's lost even more weight after putting a tiny bit back on.
Dreams have not stopped.
Right. She's still vomiting every night.
Throwing up. Yeah.
All of that is still happening. And Tamlin's like, I'm going to get you out of this. Well, you don't have to do this. You don't have to suffer this abuse. And meanwhile, I'm like, go be abused by Rhysand. Do all the things because he's not actually abusing you. That's not what abuse looks like, Feyre. So, this was so sad. So she dresses in night court clothes and Rhys winnows her in, and she's about to just shuffle off to her bedroom and sleep more because that's what she's been doing most of the days is just sleeping.
What else is she gonna do?
I know, right?
There's
so
no TV.
awful.
She's just stuck in a castle.
I know.
What do you even do?
But then as she turns, Rhys, like with this desperate tone in his voice, he's like, have breakfast with me. Just please. Before you go, please.
I melt.
I know, right? Sexiest words. Have breakfast with me. Yeah, so he tries one lesson with her, and she's super good because if she's not sleeping, she's been practicing because that's the only thing she can do.
Yeah, she's been doing her brain shields.
Right. Now that she doesn't have Ianthe to sit next to while Ianthe plans a wedding. Right. She's just been doing some mind shields.
And can we say Schmerger is also like all over Tamlin and all over Lucien all the time.
Yeah. She's always talking about how Lucien doesn't want her, and she's always making eyes at Lucien. She's always,
Tamlin.
Yeah, she's always
which is really upsetting
Tamlin's
for Feyre
arm.
because she's like, you're planning my wedding and you're like all over my fiance. So I just wanted to hand that out there.
No. And meanwhile, it's not the normal Feyre because since her self-esteem is at -13, she's like, oh man, Ianthe's really making moves on my guy. And Ianthe's like so beautiful. And they would be so well suited for each other. And she's so much better than me. And they make so much more sense.
Yeah. And my brain's all fucked up. And, you know.
Yeah. So it's not even that she's like, oi.
No.
Stop being all over my dude.
But I just wanted to add that little trait about Schmerger.
I know. Schmerger's the worst. So.
It's okay. She's going to get it. It's fine.
She is. I am
not in this book.
Not in this book,
but
guys.
She'll get it. She'll get it, you guys. Don't worry about it.
She does more things to deserve what she's going to get, though, in this book. All right.
Yeah.
So he has business elsewhere and just like leaves a bunch of novels for her, which hottie toddy, you know?
Yeah.
He's like, why don't you?
Some books.
Yeah. Why don't you spend this week relaxing and reading, girl?
Yeah,
hey, girl.
Practicing your newfound literacy.
That's right. Hey, girl. Why don't you just treat yourself to some novels? While I'm gone.
Breakfast.
And
breakfast and books.
I'll have bonbons just on tap for you whenever you want.
Yeah.
Do you want some truffles?
Yeah.
Got those too. Rhysand is just oozing night goodness. Okay. So, and then when he comes back, he's holding a plate of food. He really is my perfect guy, I think.
Yeah. But also, she's so skinny. She's like a Skeletor now. Yeah, so he's like trying to cram food down her throat as much as he can while she's there because clearly the Spring Court does not give any shits about her extreme weight loss.
Right. And so he is trying to goad her, like, to get some fire out of her. And they fight over a book at one point. And she either fires or, she ice blasts him. It's really good. And he's like, oh, what you got there? We can still train.
That's all the power.
Yeah. And she's like, no, we cannot train because I am definitely not going to work with you. So there.
No.
And he's like, meh. So he takes her back. And he grabs her by the waist as Tamlin's like standing there on the walkway, and he whispers right in her ear parts, like so that his breath feathers over the sensitive skin of her eardrum. And he's like, fight it. And then he winnows out of there.
Oh, God,
Rhysand, you're so sexy. You're so sexy, even in your feminist form.
Take notes, slow burn authors.
Right? Slow
This is a slow burn.
This burns so good.
It burns. It burns. A slow burn's gotta burn. It can't just be a puzzle.
No puzzles. No minions.
No quinoas.
Less quinoa. It's not quinoa's fault. All right. But puzzles and minions can take the full bore run. It will take all of my rage. It's not quinoa's
I'm just saying,
fault.
if you're going to do a slow burn, do it with breakfast food. Am I right?
God.
You know?
Breakfast food and empowering sentences.
Literacy.
Whispered into your ear.
Yeah. Okay. All right. We're back in springtime.
Everybody. Whew. Back in Spring Court, ready to get abused.
Is this a three-parter?
I don't know, man. It might.
I don't know either.
We were only on chapter like 12 of 72.
Yeah, we're supposed to get to 30, and I don't know. Anyway, all right, keep going.
Okay. So Tamlin's like, get inside, because of course he is.
Yeah.
He interrogates her, and
there's a whole other debriefing.
Oh my gosh, but wait, this is the worst line I've ever read in literature, I think, because it's so good. It made me feel so bad while I was reading it, and like, it's just the brilliance of Sarah J. Maas to hit me right in my core. It says, I just retched. It says, protect, protect, protect. I could see the word in his eyes, feel it in every thrust he made into my body that night. Ugh. Ugh. Ugh.
At least he didn't feast on her vagina.
You know what? I'm fine. Feast away. At least she's getting an orgasm out of that. I don't know. I guess. But this protect and like I just see her like head hitting the headboard as he doesn't care. He just wants to like own her again. Ugh. Yeah. Ugh. It's so gross. Thank you, Sarah J. Maas, for making me feel horrible.
Yeah.
Because it was appropriate in this setting.
Yeah.
Okay, so now the guards are back. He lost his damn mind while she was in night court. He's like doubled the guards from before. Lucian catches her one day, like morphing her claws accidentally because she's really mad about something.
Right. She's got claws now, just like Tamlin.
Yeah, got some claws because she's getting some traits from every one of the High Lords who spat upon her. Okay, so then he's like, I'm going to talk to Tamlin. I'm going to try to let him get you to train. And then she overhears the three of them talking about her future, being like, no, we can't do it. So it's Lucian, Tamlin, and Schmerger. And Schmerger's like touching his arm and being like, but what about the danger to her if we do blah, blah, blah? Don't you want to keep her safe? It's just bad. So then he's leaving the house because there's some kind of movement on the Western Front. That is the front where Hybern is, FYI, everybody. So she's like, I want to go with what?
Nothing. It's just, you seem really proud of yourself. I know. Wartime fronts. And that is the front of the war where the place is.
That's true. I also looked it up like
She had like one finger up. Like, yeah, I know maps.
That's right.
I know directions.
Oh,
I know wars. I know fronts.
I
it was great.
know threats, everybody.
Professionalism in 2019.
Okay. So, oh boy, here's where shit goes down. The book changes right here, and it is the best.
This is it.
So she's like, Tamlin, I go with you. And he's like, you no go anywhere. And she's like, I will. No, but I do, though. You hold my hand, I go, and I hide. I can hide. I'll just go somewhere with you and be a help. And he's like, no, you don't go anywhere. So she's arguing with him. And in his haste to leave, he just shields the whole house. So she walks into a wall, essentially, as she's trying to leave the front door.
It's like you're late for platform 9 3/4.
Yes. Boom. Kabam. And Lucian looks at her and is like, just be patient. Like, I'll talk to him again. And then she goes to a window and she's like, oh my God, I can't get anything out. And Lucian's like, FYI, everybody else can go in and out, but the whole house you can't get out of. And then they both winnow away. And so she flips. She's like, I'm stuck. I'm trapped. It's like the mountain. Shit. I can't do anything. She starts screaming. And everybody else watches her just like disappear into this whirlpool of black darkness. And she's screaming. And there's fire. And there's ice. And it's crazy. And oh man, it is nuts.
Also probably water and air.
Also those props.
All of the things, all of those elements, all of the times of day, all of them are coming out of her.
That's right. And she goes so hot that her engagement ring melts off her hand in this beautiful, symbolic
good riddance engagement ring.
Goodbye engagement ring.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden she starts hearing lady voices, and then somebody picks her up and she's like, oh my God, I think that's more. And Alice goes,
my BFF more from breakfast.
That's right. And Alice, her servant, is like, just take care of her. Please take care of her.
Take her away.
Yeah. And so Moore fucks off and she's like walking through tunnels and stuff. And Feyre's a little bit freaked out because that is how you could get back to under the mountain. And Moore, she doesn't say you're safe. She just keeps on repeating, you're free, you're free, you're free. And
Pitter pat. Pitter pat.
Oh, pitter pat.
Love more. We're never going back to the fucking spring court again. We're out.
Never.
We're out. It's all night, all the time, baby.
Oh, God, it's so much nighttime.
And boy, are we ready for it.
We're so ready. So then Moore hands her off to Race. And Race is like, we're going to the night court. So he takes her back to his house, and she wakes up probably 18 hours later because she is so tired.
So tired.
And he's been sitting vigil at her side. And he says that since this isn't part of their bargain, she's under no obligation to go back, but he will take her back at any moment if she says so.
That would be very hard.
But it's also, Erin, it's always about her choice. #, always her choice.
She has so much choices and agency.
Oh my God.
So sexy.
She has so much agency. It's so nice. Oh boy. So then he's like, you can stay with me in the house for as long as you like forever if you need. Still, FYI, want you to work with me. I want you to try to help me undermine this war that's a-coming.
Mm-hmm.
Help me protect everybody. And he's like, I gotta go somewhere. And she's like, take me with you.
Right.
And he thinks about it, and he tells her that if she goes to this place that he's going, there's no going back.
Yeah.
She has to shield her mind all the time. She can never, ever tell. She'll always have secrets from the spring court and everybody else if she goes back there. Like, this is a thing.
It's very trusting because, Lisa's just basically being like, please, I'll take you if you want me to take you, but, please don't tell the spring court about the place I'm taking you. It would be really nice because he knows. Or he should know that she's going back to the spring court and being like, here's everything about the night court, Tamlin. Right. So he's like, all right, from here on out, be cool.
Yes, yeah, seriously, though. Now you can't tell anybody anything.
Yeah. And she's like, okay.
Yeah. And so then they winnow to Valaris. Oh, boy, everybody.
Valaris is a city inside the night court.
That's the one.
Inside the court of dreams of the night court, which is different than the court of nightmares of the night court.
Listen, all right. So the nightmare court is his job. The court of dreams is his family.
Is it not all his job?
Well, yeah, right. But the court of dreams is run by his family.
No, here's the difference. The leader of the night court, the high night court king, who, by the way, I'm pro.
Oh.
I'm for it.
Oh, yeah.
He's not great at some stuff. Listen, there's the court of the dreams.
Yes.
Where everything's
the
happy.
Real court.
Yeah, the real court. Okay? Where everything's happy and wonderful and plentiful and great. And then there's the court of the nightmares, where everything is shitty and mean and hungry and awful.
But that's how they like it.
Yeah.
And I don't actually think anybody's hungry.
I'm sure. All the children and the women of the court of fucking nightmares super duper love it.
Yeah. There is that.
Yeah.
They are quite subjugated, aren't they?
Right. So, just take all these and, throw America in there. He's going to be a good leader for the real America, but not the not real America.
Yeah.
And fuck them all. And I just don't get it, because he rescued Moore out of there because of how they treat women. But he's just cool. He's going to be cool with that. So he's going to do his facade over on the Court of Nightmares to protect the Court of Dreams. It's you're the leader of the whole shebang. So how about you make the whole shebang good? And if you can glamour all the minds of the blah, blah, blah to not know about the Valaris and the Court of the Dreams or whatever, why can't you glamour the minds of the blah, blah, blah to not know about the whole damn thing and then just kill all the bad people because you can just blink and missed the whole world reason.
Ooh, yeah.
So I don't know what the problem here is.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah.
Don't think about it and come at me with this because I'm certain of it. I do not understand. The whole function of this whole thing is to make sure that he is portrayed on the outside as a bad boy so that we can be sexually attracted to him as a bad man.
I mean, it worked.
And so that Feyre can go over to that night court and wear slutty stuff and be his slut princess. And here's the thing.
Grind up on him.
Huge bing boom bong logistical nightmare that I am okay with for those two reasons. If this whole logistical nightmare exists just for that scene where Feyre is a slut with him on the throne, fine.
I'm good.
Fine by me.
Just for that goddamn fan art that you sent me. Oh, my lord.
Damn sexy. But I'm just saying, I'm not sitting here and pretending this works logistically. And there are other problems as well, but that's just one of them.
All right.
Be a better leader.
So he takes her to a secret city called Valaris. It has been secret for 5,000 years. Most people outside of Valaris don't even know about it because there needs to be one good place in the Court of Nightmares, in the Night Court.
This is a totally self-sufficient city.
Completely.
Full of immortal beings. Okay? Mm-hmm. So one day, and they didn't plan this. It was not planned to be a self-sufficient city. Just in one day, Rhys was like, I'm gonna cloak this thing. Surprise, you guys are now self-sufficient.
Mm-mm.
Yes.
His ancestors did that. Nobody's known about it for 5,000 years.
Oh, okay. But
he's only 500 years old.
Somebody at one time decided, boom, we're gonna make you self-sufficient. And fishermen, merchants became farmers. And everybody who goes out of the place becomes an internal thing. 100% that line is in the book.
No, that's
that
only
merchants
when
became farmers.
Only when Arabertha was under the reign. But other than that, it's open to trade from other lands. That's how they get their spices and stuff. But those tradesmen are somehow magicked to not know when they leave.
I just can't with this shit. Okay, fine. Okay, we're going to do the tradesman magic times. But at some point, the city of Valaris becomes known to the world. And we have to pretend, as the reader, that this is a big old fucking crisis to Rhys and the fam.
It is.
As if he couldn't just glamour all the people that found out, re-glamour them, and then it's fine.
No, because
he did it once to the whole fucking world.
No, but the armies were there. So
no, don't you?
We're getting ahead of ourselves.
Okay, I cannot with this city. I cannot. And can you imagine that one day somebody just decides, New York City, you know what? We're going to put walls up around it. It's going to be a self-sustaining city. And all you guys are immortal. So if you're a janitor right now, you're a janitor for eternity. Fuck you. No.
No, I think people can leave. I'm really unclear about the whole...
Yeah, exactly. There can be no upward mobility in this city because everybody's just self-contained and immortal. Well, think about it.
Huh. All right. So
where's their water source coming from? Like,
They're on the ocean and there's a river running through the city.
Oh, I don't know. I just don't know. Okay. All right. Okay.
So... they are in a townhouse, just an unassuming townhouse.
Beautiful little townhouse,
real cute.
Yeah, cute. So, not a palace.
Yeah, no, not
just
at all.
Just a little house. Yeah.
And these big burly dudes come to the door, and Rhys is like, "Hey, I need you to know some things. First of all, you're completely safe here in this house. The only two people who can winnow in and out are me and Moore. Everybody else has to be let in by us. So that does not mean you cannot leave. This city is completely safe. You can go and see people and do whatever you want. You are free to go wherever you want. But in this house, you are completely safe." And he's like, you can either meet the two idiots out there right now, or you can go to bed and we can reconvene later. She's like, I'm going to go to bed.
Right.
And he looks a little bit sad, but...
it's fine with it. And then she hears them kicking the shit out of each other as she goes to bed.
It's really cute. And she talks to her two maids and tries to figure out how the city is the way it is and like how he saved it or whatever. And they're like, we're not going to tell you that.
Yeah, because she's never heard of this magic city and there's children laughing in the streets.
Right. And as a person who's just come from the spring court, she's like, oh, he told you not to tell me? And they're like, no, it's just his story to tell. Yeah. He hasn't told us to not say anything.
Because she knows if Aramantha knew about this place that she would have
decimated it. Yeah. Like she did everything else. So she wakes up and they go walking around Valaris. She's fucking pissed. Because she's like, the whole world was burning and you just kept this shit nice? Like, how dare you? All these fucking righteous people didn't do a goddamn thing to help? That's bullshit too.
Yeah.
And he is like, my people didn't do anything. This was my choice. All falls on my shoulders. So
yes, it does.
Do not get angry with them. You have to be angry with me.
And it is righteous.
Yeah.
And you know what? Feyre's like she throws a little tantrum every time she finds out somebody wasn't under the mountain.
Mm-hmm.
Like when she finds out that his buddy friends were not under the mountain, when she's like, I was under the mountain and no one, it's like, Feyre, you were there for 3 fucking months. Like, tone it down a little bit for no one else was under the mountain because everybody else was there for 50 years. So, like, just take it down a notch.
Yeah, not to mention, why isn't she super pissed at Tamlin for not being under the mountain for 50 years? God damn it.
49 and a half years.
That's right.
Yeah.
What a dick.
Because Tamlin was there the whole time she was there. And the whole time because she thinks that her experience there is like the most worst.
Right,
which is not necessarily true.
No.
Everybody else was there a lot longer than you, Feyre, so take it down a notch.
I would also say that Claire Better's experience under the mountain was worse.
No, it wasn't. Reese fixed it with his magic penis like he fixes everything.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true. He took away all
she
her
was fine.
pain.
She's just having a beautiful
that.
dream.
Mm-hmm. Oh, man. Okay, so they walk around and he's like, FYI, we're having dinner with my fam tonight, with my like inner circle. They talk about Erin and how she's the scariest of anybody that anybody's ever met. And she thinks to herself, oh, it might actually be nice if Erin attacked me and it was all just ended. And Reese flips and he grabs her face and he's like, don't ever think that. Don't ever think that. You were worth so much more than that.
But I was cool with it.
Oh, I was into it. And then she accidentally goes into his mind parts and sees herself through his eyes. And she's like, oh, God, I am gaunt. And I am all cheekbone. And I'm so, like, my skin is so sallow. Like, how did this happen?
Right.
So then he's like, how did you do that? She's like, I don't fucking know. Like, I've only done it once before to Lucian. And like, I don't know what I'm doing.
He's like, you did it once before to Lucian?
Yeah. And he's like, oh, God, you had to go into Lucian's mind? That sounds terrible.
Gross.
Yeah.
I love it when Reese is catty. I love it when he's like, oh, God, those spring court Gryffindors, am I right? I love it.
Spring court Gryffindors. You're so right.
Oh gosh, didn't you see my conversations with Jenny?
No,
I was in the I was just like, you guys, I'm just loving this book. I'm in the Facebook group, and I'm just like, I just love this Acco maths. It's just great. And Jenny was just like, oh God, I love the Night Court. And we were kind of going back and forth, and I was like, you know what it is? It's that these Slytherins get shit done. Yeah, they do the things that need to be done.
That's right.
I'm gonna be a sex slave for 50 years if that's what it takes. That's right. To get shit done. Tamlin won't do anything to get shit done, and it's like here in the Night Court, these Slytherins are living their best lives, and they're the heroes, and it's the Gryffindors over in the Spring Court that are just like, we can't do one wrong thing, or else it'll compromise our integrity. So we'll just sit here on our hands and and I love it. And I'm sorry, Gryffindors. I just liked that for once in the world, it was just like...
got a good rap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're living their best lives down there in Slytherin land.
They are, in every way. All right, so a bunch of things happen all at once. They go to dinner. They meet the fam. We find out a metric fuck ton about their backstories, which you should read.
Yeah, I'm like, you told me to pick up the notes in chapter 16, madam. So,
oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, here we are. Look at my notes. I have them written on a notepad.
Tell me everything.
Professionalism
That's
in
right.
2019. All right, so the two guys that were at the door that were doing the brawling, they are Cassian and Azrael, and they have wings.
That's right.
And they're
Illyrians.
Illyrians. Thank you, Melody. I love how you rushed to get that word out before I tried it.
I didn't even mean to, but yeah.
You're like, they're Illyrians. Before I was like, and they are Illyrians. So basically Reese is like, we're going to go to dinner with my family. So Feyre puts on a big slinky sparkle gown and does up her hair in a bunch of swirls and diamonds and stuff. And because she wants to impress the fam.
That's right.
And then he's going to fly her up there. And she's like, don't fuck up my hair, Reese. Yeah, because I took a long time doing my hair.
Well,
and
he's
like,
yeah, Carradine did.
Yeah, the servants did, whatever. Yeah. And he's like, I got this. I will keep you safe in my chest and like,
and also in my wings. He like pulls his wings around her,
which is ridiculous because also he's flying. So I don't understand how. I don't get that.
No, they're standing. They're standing there. He's trying to talk her into
right, but then he flies her.
Yeah. I was just sorry. I was spending way more
speeding.
time with the hugging of the wing and the hand on her her waist and the pulling her in, and then the moment when she's like, "Oh God, I feel very confined," his wings shoot back, but he still like holds on to her waist parts. And there's a lot of touching and a lot of.
And she snuggles right into his nook, and they fly over the beautiful city of Valaris and the lights in the night sky. It's beautiful, and she's like, "Don't fuck up my hair," and he doesn't.
Right.
Which is great. That's a good trait in a man. So she gets there. She's super duper formal. She's wearing a big fancy glitter dress. She walks in. Everybody else. What?
But their conversation on the patio.
That's not yet, is it? No, you tell me. I don't know. Maybe I missed this.
So
go.
He's like, I'm gonna tell you some things, and I just want you to tell me one. And so he's like, I'm thinking about
this is before the chapter starts. This is still you. This is still melody time.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Go.
So he's like, I'm thinking about how Valaris, I never thought I'd see it again. And I'm thinking about how I did all the things, but it was worth it. And I'm thinking about all these things. And then she just rattles off this list of things that's like, I'm thinking that I was a really lonely, sad person, and I fell in love with the first thing that gave me any kind of safety and warmth. I'm thinking that I can't believe I allowed him to show me so little of the spring court. I can't believe that, like, I allowed myself to be a pet, basically. I'm thinking that, he didn't necessarily mean to, but our dynamic worked before I became whatever the fuck I am now. Because I can't be confined like that anymore. It's just so gorgeous. And he's like, wow, that was 5 things, so I guess I owe you 2 now, but we gotta go inside. Because there's 2 big giant Illyrians back there, and they wants to meet ya.
Right. So these 2 guys are big giant Illyrians. So she walks in, they are cash. They're all wearing jeans and t-shirts. That's is not a formal dinner. But she thinks because in the spring court, every dinner is a big formal banquet. Yeah. That she was expected to wear like a super pretty dress.
Can I just say that they must waste so much fucking food in the spring court, and then they force their subjects to tithe at them? How dare they?
Yeah, that's the thing. They have all the fish in the world because they got that tiyuf.
That's right.
Okay. So she finds out. So Cassian, these guys are Illyrians. They're big old dudes with wings. They live in a different place in the Night Court, which sure, fine. Which, like, Reese kind of rules, but, like, also doesn't, kind of. And there's, like, warlords. It's a whole other place that he just kind of, like, lets be its own. Where they don't treat ladies very great. And they're,
He's
like, not
working
good.
on that.
Yeah, kind of. But, like, also...
He's been a little distracted.
Can control the minds of everyone in the world and turn anyone into mist at any given time.
Fair.
Let's just never forget that about Reeson when he can't do stuff. Okay. I've written, they got wings with a Z. So these guys are both bastards.
Yeah.
Cass is the bastard son of a warlord up in the mountain wing camp.
Yeah, and a laundress.
And a laundress. And Azriel is the bastard son of a lord who they kept locked in a prison until he was like
11
or 10 or whatever.
Something.
Yeah, and they found out that he is a shadow singer. Never truly explained.
Can I just say that when I was reading this, I definitely kept on saying in my brain, shadow slinger.
Slinging those shadows.
Slinging them. I just imagine like a really dark Spider-Man going slinging shadows. You need some shadows.
You of Spider-Man. It reminded me of Nicki Minaj. She's like, he slings cocaine. I'm like, he slings shadows. All right, okay. So Cassian is they're both hunky, great,
super hunky. Cassian has hair down to his shoulders. Which I really
He's very beefy. Azriel has scars all over his hands, swirly ones. Those are caused by his brothers because they got jealous of him. Well, his half brothers or whatever, the Lord's full sons, because they got jealous of him because he had shadow slinger powers. And so Cassian controls the armies for the Night Court. Asriel is the spy master, also never quite, I don't know, he's just shady. He's real shady and, like, slinky.
He's a shadow slinger.
Feyre casts some shade at both of them for not being under the mountain, which, again, Feyre, you weren't there all that long either. Moore slinks in. She's all formal.
Oh,
she's wearing
beautiful. This red chiffon number probably got some cutouts, you know?
Yeah, all the way, like the V is all the way down to her belly button. She looks
pelvic
great.
bone. Down to her pelvic bone. Like
she's night court fab.
Whew.
And so that makes Feyre feel a little bit better because she's, like, overdressed. Then Amryn comes in. All right, this is Amryn. She's tiny. She's got black hair.
Girl.
She's got a cute little bob. And she is fucking terrifying.
She's got, like, lightning eyes.
Are silver lightning eyeballs.
Yeah.
And Feyre says she looks like a high fae, but it's very clear that she's some kind of dragon monster on the inside.
That's right. It's just caged dragon monster, and she just emits this scary power. Yeah. She slings scary power is what she does.
Slings scary powers. And then Feyre's like, her whole body is like, run, because like she's a monster.
Yeah.
Rhys gives her a nice little brooch and is like, here you go, Amryn, here's a brooch. And Amryn's like, oh, thank you for the brooch. And Rhys is like, it suits you. And she's like, everything does.
Yep. I'm so beautiful.
So Amryn is his second. Moore is his, like, party planner.
Is his third? Shut your mouth. She's his third. How dare you?
Sorry. Okay, she's his third. And at some point, Feyre's like, what's a third? And she's like, well, I manage, like, the affairs of, like, the city and, like, also, like, the courts and, like, who's doing what in the blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, she does all the
And then when they talk about
stuff.
Wars, she's like, so what does Moore do in the battles? And he's like, Moore's the one I bring in if, like, everything else fails, because Moore has got some powers.
Sure. They call her the Morrigan.
Yeah,
which
she knows
her
truths.
full name is the Morrigan. And I really want to be called the Erigan, and I don't know if anyone's ever going to do it, but that's what I was thinking. The Erigan. But just think of it. Think of us instead of Melody, people call you the Melody.
The Melody.
Wouldn't that be so much better than just being Melody? But I'm just going to say again, all these guys have, like, military responsibilities, and she's, like, the morale officer, and it bothered me 100%. That is 100% what's up. I'm sorry.
That was not my interpretation.
At soldiering, but up until the war, she's just doing, like, court stuff. No,
Amryn is more political and advisory role.
Yeah, she's the other girl.
Okay, put your shit away.
I'm sorry. Ugh. It's true.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, all you have to say is put it away because there's no other argument. Okay.
So we find out a bunch about their history.
Yeah, their backgrounds are a lot.
Everybody's just real sad.
God, do we need to talk about all this? Is it necessary?
I actually don't think so.
So, okay, all these guys and more, they all met at the camp with the wings and the warlords, and they all trained together. Basically, they're all real unfortunate. Yeah. And they hated each other at first, and then they kind of all took care of each other.
Yeah. And then
in the process, Moore fucked Cassian.
Right? At some point.
So, yeah. To get out of some trouble.
And we find out a lot about Moore's experience, which is horrendous.
Horrible.
But so they have this whole dinner, and she's like, all right, you know what? I am going to work with you, actually. She also tells them about her background in the mortal land and her stupid sisters. And...
Stupid shitty sisters.
All the times that she was hungry and cold and her sisters were just fucking fine.
Yeah.
And then so then they decide that they have to go and talk to somebody called the Bone Carver because he knows things.
Well, they figure out that the King of Hybern is trying to bring back a guy named Jurian.
Yes.
Human guy.
At least they think so.
From the dead. And he's the guy that Arabertha had his eyeball on her ring the entire time, and his soul was encased in the eyeball that was on her ring. He has a whole backstory that I don't know that it's necessary.
No, it's not necessary. He's a guy from the war before. The Hybern is trying to resurrect him.
He's a human. Yeah. It makes zero sense that Hybern needs to resurrect him for the war, but that's what's happening. So they think that if they go talk to the Bone Carver in the prison, he's a monster that's in a prison, they might be able to figure out why they're trying to resurrect
and
Jurian.
how. Yeah.
And also how.
So they go to the prison, and Amryn has given... They sort of have a false start at the prison because she can't think about going underground anymore. She thinks she'll get trapped. So Amryn gives her this amulet and is like, you better fucking give it back because it's the only thing that got me out of that prison. So
I know you're trying to hurry, but there's important stuff here.
Oh, yeah.
One thing is that he flies her out. I don't know. They're talking at some point about like their bond. They're flying. I guess they're flying back from the House of Wind.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
They're flying. They got to go home. They're flying back. They're talking about the stars.
They're going to their unassuming townhouse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he tells her that when Amarantha took power, she tricked him into losing all his power. All the High Lords lost all their power because they accidentally drank a wine. And that he made every person in all of Perineum forget about the city of Valaris with the scrap of power that he had left.
Only the people in the Night Court.
Sure, whatevs. So Amarantha, imagine his power as a bowl of brownie batter. Okay?
Oh, brownie batter.
Amarantha,
I always am up for a bowl of brownie batter.
Except in the sheets. Pours all the brownie batter into the thing. Then she takes a spoon, licks all the brownie batter. And then you can't get it all, guys. You can't get it all.
You can't get it all.
So he's just got like a little bit of brownie batter stuck to the sides. With that amount of brownie batter, he secrets that city.
No.
From every mind in the Night Court.
Here's the thing. I interpreted it differently because it was part of... because
it couldn't make sense any other way?
Listen.
Yeah.
So it's two parts. One, he has that little bit of brownie batter left on the spoon. But also, as she was pouring the brownie batter, he's using whatever power is still in the bowl. Like, he talks about this period of time before her situation like fully takes effect. And in those seconds, he like sends mental messages out to his family. And he's like, you got to stay in Valaris. Shit's going down. Things are really bad. He's shielding. He's frantically like doing all these things as she's pouring the brownie batter. And then he had more left over on the spoon because let's recall, he has the biggest spoon of all the High Lords.
Want brownies.
Want recent brownies. Give me your
6
brownies.
Want some brownies. Okay, anyway. I shouldn't have made this analogy. It's too delicious.
It really could have been anything that you pour out of a bowl.
Yeah, why did I do that? But here's the thing. Fine, I accept your thing. Yeah. However, can we all agree that now he has a full fucking bowl of brownie batter?
He does.
And people found out about the city at some point in this book.
He tells them.
Yeah. Because he can't do anything. Because it's like, okay, armies have invaded the city. I guess they know about the city now. And he's like, oh, guess I gotta tell everybody about the city.
No. He tells the queens.
You have all your brownie batter.
No, he tells all your
brownie batter.
We are getting ahead of ourselves, but he voluntarily tells the queens about Valaris so that they will help work with. They will work with him.
He could still keep his secret from all the people that are gonna attack it.
No, because
could he not?
No, because the queens told them.
I just want to say again, he can control the minds of everyone in the world.
Right, but
there's
remember,
no amount of gossip that he can't stop.
No, so we find out at the Bone Carver when we skip there that not only
we're not there yet.
No, I know, but I'm just saying I have to say this one thing in order to explain. Because we're having a side conversation and the listener is going to get lost. All right, listener.
They're gone.
We find out at the Bone Carver.
They're gone. This is just me and you, bitch. Let's just do this. They left a long time ago. We're an hour and 54 minutes into this magical fairy book.
Stop it. So
no sex has happened.
Yeah, but so much romance has happened. So not only is there the cauldron, the King of Hybern is getting the cauldron that originally made the whole world so that he can do all the things with the whatever. But the way to take down the cauldron is this thing called the Book of Breathings. And the fairies have one half and the mortals have the other half. Now, if you recall fucking Erin, once, I'm sorry,
it's
the
Erin
fucking Erin.
Yeah.
So,
shoom, party planning. That's me.
Stop it. The queens, when they first got their half of the book, they spelled it so that if you use any magics or if you use any trickery or anything like that, it self-destructs. So after he tells them in good faith about Valaris, he cannot control their mind, because if he controls their mind, then the book will self-destruct.
Bitch, I'm not talking about the queens. I'm talking about everybody else.
I don't know how he would do that. Full body brownie batter or not.
Brownie batter power. Okay. All right. So Feyre has a nightmare the night before. So they decide they're going to go to this prison, talk to the bone carver. Feyre has a nightmare.
Yeah, she does.
And it is a sexy one.
Well, you get sexy.
She has a nightmare about, like, probably the adder's claws or, like, stabbing those fairies or whatever. She has a lot of nightmares.
Uh-huh.
And then she wakes up to not a guy that's pretending to sleep.
Nope.
So that he doesn't know about her nightmares.
Nope. A guy who is fully engaged and probably engorged. Oh.
And not fully clothed, may I say. Shaking her awake, saying, Feyre, Feyre, get up. And then she has to go throw up, and he, like, holds her hair and, like, strokes her hair back. And it's so
He's
nice.
talking her through it.
And the whole time this is happening, like, her hands are burning. She burns the sheets, and she burns the porcelain on the toilet when she's throwing up. It's just beautiful. I can't remember if this is the time where he's kneeling and she sees his tattoos.
No,
I don't
that's
remember.
when he
it's not.
A nightmare.
Oh, God, the nightmares are so sexy.
I know.
But anyway, he's just so kind and
then
wonderful
she wakes
and comforting
up,
to her.
And he has tucked her back into bed.
Oh, God, it's so good.
Oh.
So now they're going to the prison. Amren gives her a necklace. Amren was once a monster who was imprisoned in the prison. Somehow Amren got out of that prison.
Yep.
She's the only one who ever has. And she gives Feyre a necklace. Amren likes to hoard jewelry, much like a dragon. Mm-hmm. And so the idea of her giving away a necklace is a huge deal.
Nutter butters.
But she really likes Feyre because she and Feyre, to her knowledge, except there's another one, so I don't, whatever, are the only two fairies that were made and not born. They were something else, and now they're fairies. There's another one out there. Don't worry about it. Amren likes this one. So she gives her the necklace and says, this necklace got me out of the mountain, of the prison. So you take it in case you get stuck there. Because Feyre's very nervous about going to the prison because it's going to feel like under the mountain, which it does. So they go to the prison. Yeah.
And he's like, the bone carver appears to everyone differently. So just be prepared. We're not going to be seeing the same thing. And
so
she walks in.
Yeah. So
and he's a little boy.
First,
he's the cutest little boy.
With violet eyes and dark hair. Like, we're not going to fucking figure that out, Sarah. Anyway, I love you, Sarah Maas, but come on. That's not a mystery. Okay. Like, at the end of the last book, they're like, and the bone carver appeared to her as their son all along. And it's like, yeah, I've known that for roughly 1,500 pages. Anyway, so they give the bone, you have to give the bone carver a bone.
And
so
it has to be a notorious bone.
Yes. They give the bone the one that she killed they give the bone carver the bone that she killed the worm with. Worm spelled with a Y.
Good worm.
Worm. Worm.
Which is a close cousin to worms.
Yeah. And a close cousin to worm. But it's not a worm, it's a worm. Because it's got a Y instead of an O. Because it's a fantasy book.
That's right.
So...
Oh man, we find out some shit. And it is romantical shit. It is tragically romantical. Oh man.
Let me find it.
The bone carver wants to know about her death. He wants to know what she saw. He wants to know...
So what they're doing is a question for a question. Yeah. He likes gossip. The bone carver likes to know things about people and, like, what's in their minds. And even though he's kind of omnipotent, he doesn't know, like, the juicy details of the things.
Well, and
that's what he wants to know.
That he sort of wants to figure out how to fuck off this plane because they think he's trapped here. And he can't die. So he wants to figure out, like, how maybe to die. Yeah.
So he's trying to figure out about death. So he's asking Feyre about how she died in the last book. And then Feyre and Rhysand are asking him questions about, like, what's up with Jurian? Can you, like, bring somebody back to life and that kind of thing? Right. So he's asking her questions about death. And
oh, man. Yes, please.
If I read too much, you just let me know.
I don't think it's possible.
I heard the crack, I said. Rhys's head whipped down toward me. I heard the crack when she broke my neck. It was in my ears, but also in my skull. I was gone before I felt anything more than the first lash of pain. The bone carver's violet eyes seemed to grow brighter. And then it was dark, a different sort of dark than this place. But there was a thread, I said, a tether. And I yanked on it, and suddenly I could see, not through my eyes, but his, I said, inclining my head toward Reese. I uncurled the fingers of my tattooed hand, and I knew I was dead, and this tiny scrap of spirit was all that was left of me, clinging to the thread of our bargain. But was there anyone there? This is the bone cover. Were you seeing anything beyond? And she said there was only that bond and the darkness.
Oh.
Reason's face had gone pale, his mouth a tight line. And when I was made anew, I said, I followed that bond back to me. I knew that home was on the other end of it. There was light then, like swimming up through sparkling wine. Were you afraid? All I wanted was to return to the people around me. I wanted it badly enough that I didn't have room for fear. The worst had happened, and the darkness was calm and quiet. It did not seem like a bad thing to fade into, but I wanted to go home. So I followed that bond home.
Oh, God.
Her bond with Reese, you guys.
It's home.
It brought her home. It brought her home. And she, pulled on it, and then she could see the lightness.
And he answered... Oh my God.
And Reese just plays it cool, which I wouldn't have been able to play it cool. I would have been like, I'm your home.
I'm just crying. Yeah.
Love me.
Right?
Why don't you love me more?
I've been waiting so long for you to figure out that I am home.
Yeah, I'm your home.
Oh my God.
He ends up telling them, like, hey, listen, there's two different ways to bring people back from death. The thing that happened to you, Pharaoh, where everybody gets together and spits on somebody. And there's also
and you have to have, like, a whole body.
Yes. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
You can't do that with just an eyeball.
The cauldron, which everybody uses cauldron in place of, like, God, my cauldron. Cauldron me, or whatever. So I don't know why it's a fucking surprise to everybody that there's a cauldron, but apparently it is. So Bone Carver's like, there's a cauldron, and everybody's like, a cauldron? My cauldron? I can't cauldron believe that there is.
Everybody's like, hold on, I thought that was a metaphor.
I guess. I don't know. But he's like, okay, cauldron exists. Cauldron had its feet
lopped off,
chiseled off of it, and they put them in all the temples. And everybody's like, click, all the temples have been raided recently. Also, there's a book. And the book can nullify the cauldron's power so that nobody can make a Jurian out of it. And the book's in two pieces, and one of them's with the human queens, and the other one's in the summer court somewhere. Right. You don't know. But it belongs to the High Lord. The one that's in the summer court belongs to all the High Lords. And Feyre, I think you have, like, a tracking device in your brain parts now where you can, like, recognize when something belongs to the High Lords.
Because, also, Feyre, and it's connected to the summer. It's connected to, like, summer's power in particular. Yeah, summertime.
Yeah. But you have some power from summertime, so you probably can, like, track it like a dog. And then also, like, you're part human, so, like, that may help you with the human stuff.
And also, you were made, and the only thing that can read the Book of Breathings is something that was made, not something that was born.
Right.
So you can cast the spell from the Book of Breathings.
Mm-hmm. And also, the King of Highburn already has the cauldron.
Yes. And the cauldron can take down the wall.
Mm-hmm.
So these are all the things that are afoot. Now, they have to try to find the Book of Breathings. They also have to see how to get into Highburn so that they can maybe steal the cauldron and or destroy the cauldron.
Can I read some more things?
Oh, please.
Okay, so she just offers some more stuff to him without anything back, and Reason's like, Ugh.
Well, she does that because she knows that he has more information.
Right. So she says, I offered up another shattered piece of me.
Oh.
When Amarantha made me kill those two fairies, if the third hadn't been Tamlin, I would have put the dagger in my own heart in the end. Reese went still. I knew there was no coming back from what I'd done, I said, wondering if the blue flame in the carver's eyes might be my ruined soul.
Oh my God.
Oh, might burn my ruined soul to ash. And I liked my sentence better, but I read incorrectly. And once I broke their curse, once I knew that I had saved them, I just wanted enough time to turn that dagger on myself. I only decided I wanted to live when she killed me, and I knew that I had not finished whatever I had been born to do. I dared to glance at Reese.
You were born to do Rhysand.
There was something like devastation in his beautiful face, and it was gone in a blink.
God.
Yeah. So
gosh.
there you go.
Wow.
So Now they've got to go, basically, they got to go talk to the queens of the human times, and they've got to also go to the summer court and get those books together.
Yep.
I mean, do you want to keep going, or what do you want to do here?
No, I think we gotta be done for today, but we will pick up here when we will pick up next week at the Weaver. Ooh.
Kind of. I mean, some stuff happens before then, but we'll go to the Weaver. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Weaver.
The Weaver of the Wood.
She's so gross, you guys. She's like,
so gross, too.
So gross. Like,
yeah.
Blech. Like, I can't believe anyone hangs out with her. She's so gross. You guys, like, her roof is literally made of hair.
Yeah. Yeah, her chimney is lined with boiled fat. So
yeah, she's like disgusting. Like, she doesn't have like any teeth. Like, I don't know why anyone hangs out with the Weaver anymore. Ugh.
Nobody hangs out with her. All right, Erin.
Yes.
What is your lady love for today?
God, honestly, to be completely honest with you, and I know I've done this 16 times, this season of The Magicians is so fucking good. And this last episode was so fucking good. And you guys aren't going to hear this for like 3 weeks, but man, this one was so good. It was so good. So if you're not watching that show, watch it. I will also throw out a little other one that I've only seen like the first half of it. But so Cole told me while we were having lunch, he's like, he's a movie person. He's seen every movie. Okay. And I know everybody's like kind of a movie person. So when you hear that, you're like, oh God, like people are like, oh, I like movies. It's like being like, oh, I like brunch. You know, like everybody likes movies. Fine.
Right.
But he's seen every movie.
And then he remembers them, which is my problem.
And all the actors in them.
Ugh.
Yeah. And I used to be like this, but I have less brain space, I think.
Sure.
He recently saw a movie called Little Italy that's available on Amazon Prime. It may be the worst movie ever made.
What?
It's very similar to Christmas Wedding Planner. So if you're in the mood for a Hayden Christensen, Emma Roberts romantic comedy about two rival pizzerias in Little Italy, Toronto.
No! Yep.
Google that one up, because it's free on Amazon Prime, and it is strikingly bad. Like,
wow, that's really exciting.
Incredibly bad.
Little Italy. All right, done.
So that'll bring some joy into your life.
Done and done.
Just the trailer, guys. If you just only have time for the trailer, it's rough.
All right, fair enough.
Okay. Yeah, what's yours? What do you got?
Mine. I have quite a few. I'm going to do a lighthearted one and then a real one, if that's okay with you.
Yeah.
Okay, so the lighthearted one is Big Mouth Season 2, you guys. And they just did the Valentine's Day special that was de-friggin-licious. But man, they had this whole Planned Parenthood episode this season. They're really doing some excellent work over on Netflix with Big Mouth. And
what a delight.
Now, I love a show that makes me think, cackle, and full body shudder. And all of those things happen with Big Mouth because it can be so gross and inappropriate.
Yeah.
So you really need to have that kind of humor. But I think you listen to us, so you should be fairly okay.
Yeah.
And then my real one is, I just saw a meme online and it's just been stuck in my head. It's been this little empowering kind of seed that's just been planted there. You know, because last week I talked about how I'm like, you know, not doing the best. And it's this quotation where I can't find the provenance, but my version is, we're all a little broken and that's how the light gets in. And yeah, it's just stuck with me because I'm feeling a little broken, but I feel like there's always a place to grow from there, you know, whether it's like you're feeling like a crack in a sidewalk and that's how little bits of vegetation come up, or you're in a dark room and somebody shatters a window and it seems like a crisis, but that's how you get to see what's actually around you. Yeah, be okay, because
you're gonna be okay, Melody. Yeah, you're gonna be fine.
The light's coming in.
Be okay.
There's a lot of light. So yeah, that is those are my two lady loves. There's beauty in the brokenness too.
All right.
Yep.
Well,
you can find us on all the places.
Yeah. Join the Heaving Bosoms Geriatric Friendship Cult. Listen, I know some of you don't have Facebook, but just get a lot of people just have a Facebook profile literally just for the friendship cult.
Yeah. Well, in other romance groups too, but yeah.
And I want to say it one more time that we had a cult before any other podcast did, so we're sticking with it. Because, man, every time I listen to My Favorite Murder and I hear them be like, be on the cult, blah, 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 I'm like, we're not at your level, but we had it first. So I just want all our new listeners to know, we didn't rip them off. They ripped us off without ever knowing we existed.
We also don't call it a fan cult because I don't consider
that's gross.
I don't consider these people fans. I consider them friends.
Yeah, friends.
We do. We have so many more friends now because they're all so great.
So join that if you haven't. Heaving Bosoms Podcast on Facebook. Mm-hmm. Heaving Bosoms Podcast at gmail.com. We're not going to reply to you. It's just that's what it is now. I replied to one the other day.
I can try.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
At Heaving Bosoms at Instagram, at Heaving_Bosoms on Twitter. If you want to see my desperate video of trying to get to the Heaving Bodice. Nope, that's wrong.
Heaving Bodice. Excellent.
Yep.
Excellent.
Ripped Bodice. I think that's all of them. And
oh boy, keep being a badass and love yourself as much as you love
Schmerger.
We hate her.
I know, but I love it. As much as you love calling her Schmerger, because I really like it. Do you have something better?
I know, I don't.
Okay, good. Right, it's Schmerger.
It's Schmerger. Love yourself as much as you love calling that mean lady Schmerger. All right, bye, Erin.
Bye.
Hey, you. Yes, listener, you. Are you loving the show? If so, please leave a rating and review in your podcast app. The 90 seconds you take to say something nice not only helps new people find the show, but it makes me super smile over at HBHQ. Also, I've had a few people ask, and the answer is yes. We are still doing the 5-star bribe. If you leave us a review with 5 stars, then we'll do whatever book you want. We're real deep into the list, though, so it might be a while. Lilas! Okay, back to the show.